Chapter 169. Gu Shan pursed his lips. After a while, he asked, "System, what exactly is going to happen?" "The system can only sense the change in space-time. It can't find out the truth. Please search for the user yourself." "I want to, but you're telling me to go to the cultivation world." "If the user doesn't enter the cultivation world, the user's time flow will be affected by unpredictable and severe consequences." Gu Shan shook his head helplessly, about to say something else, but it was too late, because another line of text popped up from the system. "Please immediately enter the cultivation world to avoid the change in space-time. Final countdown of 30 seconds begins." 30, 29, 28. Gu Shan had no choice but to turn around, patting Jang Young-ho's shoulder. "I'll leave him to you. I have something urgent to do. I'll come find you when I get back." He nodded to Yi Fei Li, turned around, and ran away. After turning a corner, Gu Shan called, "Impartial goddess, I'm here. Protect them from me." "Yes, sir." Please be assured the screen flashed, and Gu Shan disappeared from reality. On the other side, on the football field, Jang Young-ho shook his head and complained, "I didn't even finish, and that brat already ran away. What a rush," he then excitedly said. "Ignore him for now. Let's go." "Brother, I'll take you to a good place. It'll definitely be the luxury of an ancient emperor. I guarantee it'll be unforgettable as long as I can rest." Yi Fei Li looked at his wounds and said. Jang Young-ho quickly walked forward, enthusiastically saying, "Let me introduce myself again. I'm the boss of the Federation's #1 Hitman Guild. Jang Young-ho. I hope to have a pleasant cooperation from now on." He extended his hand. Seeing how enthusiastic he was, Yi Fei Li also took off his sunglasses, revealing a pair of bloodshot eyes. He looked at Jang Young-ho with a serious expression, then shook his hand. "Nice to meet you. I'm the world's #1 man killer fiend." Yi Fei Li, their eyes met. Jang Young-ho stared at him with his eyes wide open, beads of cold sweat forming on his forehead. Scenes of what had happened flashed through his mind. This time, he really understood. Cold sweat trickled down his forehead, and Jang Young-ho could not help but shiver. He tried to pull his hand back, but he couldn't. Yi Fei Li was holding his hand tightly to show her seriousness and respect. Jang Young-ho took a deep breath, squeezed out a smile that was uglier than crying, and said, "Ah, brother, I believe that you are a very good partner." "Absolutely." The world of cultivation. After the annual examinations, the situation became more and more tense. 100 Flowers Hall. A long flame flew in and quietly floated in front of the 100 Flowers Fairy. 100 Flowers Fairy took the fire talisman and scanned it with her spiritual sense. "A very strange piece of information," she said. "What is it?" Xiao asked curiously. "The powerful demons that used to live on Demon Cloud's river have all disappeared without a trace. Could they have entered human territory?" Gu Shan asked. "No. We've been keeping a close eye on them. As soon as they appear, we'll immediately notice," the 100 Flowers Fairy replied. After confirming it again and again, "They seem to have left our world," she added. "That's a good thing," Qin Shaolu smiled. "They're all gone. We don't need to fight anymore. We'll be able to grasp victory in our hands. But all the beast saints of this world are still here. None of them left," the 100 Flowers Fairy said. She went silent for a bit, then said, "Although we don't know what happened, this is the best chance for humanity. We originally planned to launch an attack after the semester examination, but now it seems we can turn this attack into a decisive battle." As Gu Shan listened, her heart sank. The otherworld demons are all gone. Where did they go? According to the corpse on the bronze pillar, they must have gone to pick up a pushover, which is reality. At this point, the demons still can't enter reality themselves, but they've already created sea monsters and man-killer fiends. What will they do next? Reality is already in a terrible state. It won't be able to withstand the third great calamity. Damn it, I should be in reality right now, taking a good look at what's going on. Gu Shan was a bit annoyed, but there was nothing she could do. In this life, the situation of both worlds changed too quickly, so much so that she couldn't keep up with it. Let's not talk about reality, just the cultivation world. In the past life, players could at least start by hunting small demon beasts, slowly increase their strength and level, slowly getting used to the cultivation world. But now that humanity has seen through the demon scheme and discovered Shenwu world, they've gained the upper hand in terms of strategy, so there's no need for small skirmishes anymore. They're definitely going to start a large-scale war. This time, I'm about to enter the decisive battle between humanity and the demons. This isn't a simple game. It's a real battle where people will die. In the face of such a huge war, an individual's fate is like duckweed in the water. They can fall at any moment. What should I do? Gu Qingshan quickly glanced at the hourglass. The hourglass is still moving very slowly. Ever since he went to that strange space, his time flow has been chaotic. Now that he's in the cultivation world, he still doesn't know when he'll be able to return. He sighed to himself. Right now, he doesn't have the energy to care about reality. He needs to focus on this war. Hopefully, while he's in the cultivation world, nothing major will happen in reality. Gu Qingshan temporarily suppressed his thoughts and focused on the people of Baihua Palace. 100 Flowers Fairy waved her hand, putting 2 items on the table. 2 badges, one in front of Gu Qingshan, the other in front of Qin Xiaolu. Gu Qingshan's badge is still bronze, but compared to when he first came here, this badge isn't as crude as it used to be. In the middle of the badge, a dark red engraving outlines 2 sharp characters. Shao Qi. Gu Qingshan looked at the Shao Qi chaplain badge in front of him and couldn't believe it. I'm now a Shao Qi chaplain? Shao Qi chaplain is ranked 3rd among the 6 schools, which is quite a good position. The military system of the Human Allied Army uses the 6 colonels for generals, commander, and deputy commander system. As for the 10 generals, 100 men, 1,000 riders, they're just small leaders among the soldiers, not really officers. The ranks of chaplain, from lowest to highest, are Pei Rong, Ren Yong, Yu Wu, Shao Qi, Zhen Wei, Zhao Wu. This hierarchy went through many intense debates and discussions before it was finally decided and recognized by all the sects in the cultivation world. For the cultivators of the cultivation world, every increase in rank required a certain amount of military merit. Players, on the other hand, have to kill demons and beasts. In the past life, a player had to kill 800 demons to be promoted to Pei Rong Chaplain. And from Pei Rong Chaplain to Ren Yong Chaplain, they had to kill 2,000 demons. With each promotion, the number of demons killed will increase. To become a Shao Qi Chaplain from Soldier, a player has to kill 30,800 demons. This is a terrifying number that very few people can achieve, but that's the system's rules. Not to mention players. According to this world's cultivators' calculations, Gu Qingshan was originally a soldier of the Vanguard. So, to become a chaplain, he has to earn at least 10 small merits, or 1 large merit, to be promoted to Pei Rong Chaplain. Pei Rong is the lowest rank among military officers, while Gu Qingshan's badge is Shao Qi. He jumped 3 ranks in a row. This is what you deserve. No need to be surprised, White Goose said. 100 Flowers Fairy smiled, then also said, You saved 2 generals, asked this saint to helped expose the traitor of humanity, and even discovered Shenwu world. Isn't that enough for Shao Qi? White Goose also said, If it weren't for the fact that I'm worried that you'll be promoted too quickly, Shifu would even want to go to the Alliance and ask for a general for you. Shifu can directly ask for it. Gu Qingshan couldn't believe it. In the Human Cultivation Alliance, military merit is the most important thing. So every promotion of military rank is a very serious and fair matter. No favoritism or cheating is allowed. Even if I've earned a great merit, it still doesn't make sense for me to go from a soldier to a general. White Goose said, The Human Alliance doesn't have a commander-in-chief anymore. If there's no commander-in-chief, then who's in charge of the battle? Xiao cut in. Blade Emperor's betrayal is still a bit scary. White Goose squinted his eyes. The Human Alliance is a total of 3 highest commanders. The 3 saints themselves, the 3 saints definitely won't betray us. So this is the safest measure. What do you think? White Goose proudly said. 3rd brother, Shifu is the highest commander. Does he have the right to directly promote you as a general? He does. Gu Qingshan was a bit speechless. 100 Flowers Fairy lightly coughed, then very seriously said, Qingshan, Shifu sees that you're still too young. It's best for you to train yourself a bit more. As for the general position, it won't be too late to promote you after you've earned some merit. Yes, Gu Qingshan answered. Be a chaplain for now. See more of the military. We'll talk about it after you've learned how to command. Yes, then again, with your talent, wouldn't it be easy for you to earn merit and get promoted? 100 Flowers Fairy casually said, very naturally lifting her chin up. Gu Qingshan didn't answer. That's not at all. Earning merit needs to be accumulated. It's not easy. Gu Qingshan silently thought to himself. He even felt that he knows more about humanity's military merit accumulation and promotion system than 100 Flowers Fairy. Because in the past life, these are all things that players have studied so much that they're all familiar with them. As for a saint like 100 Flowers Fairy, she's at the top of humanity's cultivation, so she only cares about humanity's important matters, so she doesn't need to personally study the complicated military merit accumulation and promotion system. Third brother isn't bad. You're only one rank lower than me. Qin Xiaolu proudly showed his badge. On his badge, the words Zhenwei are engraved. Xiaoqi, Zhenwei, Zhaowu, these are the 3 highest ranks of a chaplain. Gu Qingshan smiled, then said, seems like us brothers can go to the front lines together this time. Hearing that, Qin Xiaolu put his badge away and awkwardly said, about that, what? I'm at the back. White Goose scoffed, then said, what does he know about fighting and killing? He only uses the 6 arts to stay at the back of the army. Gu Qingshan was surprised. Divination, formations, smithing, pills, talismans, and food, all cultivators can't do without these. And Qin Xiaolu is the best at these 6 arts. That's why he doesn't need to go to the front lines at all. He only needs to stay at the back and use his 6 arts to increase the strength of humanity's allied army. Gu Qingshan very seriously said, it's not easy. Demons are fierce and unafraid of death. Without the 6 arts, humanity would have been wiped out already. The 6 arts are the crystallization of this cultivation world civilization. The reason why humanity can fight against the demons is mostly because of these things. That's true. You're right. Very rarely. White Goose didn't continue to belittle Qin Xiaolu and agreed. 100 Flowers Fairy then said, Buying Tian is a demon. His identity is quite awkward. Xiao is still young, so she can't go. You 2 brothers represent by Hua sect. After you go to the front lines, do your best. Don't let our sect down. Yes, the 2 of them answer at the same time. Very well, 100 Flowers Fairy smiled. Qing Shan is a Shao Qi chaplain, but he doesn't even have a spirit beast mount. Xiao Lu, bring him to choose a spirit beast mount later. Leave it to me. Qin Xiaolu was grateful that Gu Qingshan spoke up for him just now, so he patted his chest and agreed. Chapter 170. After 100 Flowers Fairy left, White Goose also brought Xiao away to cultivate, leaving only Gu Qingshan and Qin Xiaolu in the hall. Let's go, junior brother. He stood up and called Gu Qingshan. Yes, Gu Qingshan smiled, reached for his badge, and was about to go with him. Unexpectedly, when his hand touched the token, his expression abruptly changed. A streak of light flashed across the War God UI, turning into lines of blood-red text in the middle. Detected that the user has triggered a unique storyline. Current conditions met the activation criteria, activating Destiny Quest to Destiny Quest. Another Destiny Quest. Last time, it was when he, Gongsun Ji, and Ning Yuechan were surrounded by demons that a Destiny Quest appeared. That time, they went through a lot of hardships and almost lost their lives. Only then did they manage to complete the quest and activate the War God Thaumaturgy button. What about this time? Gu Qingshan quickly looked down. Destiny Quest. Decisive Battle. 1. Break the chains of fate. Change the direction of the world. User Gu Qingshan has entered the Destiny Quest. Quest description. The cultivation world has prepared for the decisive battle against the demons. Success or failure will be decided here. If it succeeds, the cultivation world will have a chance to advance to Shenwu world. If it fails, the demons will once again swarm towards this world. This world's humanity will continue to head towards extinction. Quest objective. Only by standing high enough will you have enough influence to influence this decisive battle. You must raise your military rank to Zhao Wu Chaplain in the first half of the battle. This will be an extremely dangerous and difficult battle. To ensure that the user doesn't die prematurely, the quest reward has been given ahead of time. If the quest fails, the quest reward will be revoked. The user will not be able to increase her cultivation for the next 3 years. Gu Qin Shan, read it all in one go, feeling both surprised and heavy at the same time. The quest name reads Decisive Battle 1. This is actually half a quest. In other words, only by completing this part of the quest will she be qualified to enter the second half of the quest. And this time, the final quest reward has been given ahead of time. Gu Qin Shan did not feel surprised. Instead, there was a heavy feeling in her heart. Previously, when he saved Gongsun Ji and Ning Yuechan, he didn't even give them a reward in advance. But this time, the system directly said that it would be a very dangerous and difficult battle, and the reward was given in advance. This has never happened before. In the history of the game, there had never been a quest that gave out rewards in advance. It could be seen that the system had also predicted that players might die in this battle. Not to mention, if he failed a mission, he wouldn't be able to raise his cultivation for 3 years. In that case, he could only wait for death to come. Perhaps it was better to die. At least he wouldn't have to watch helplessly as many things happened. After reading the mission description, Gu Qin Shan sighed silently. He felt like he was standing on a cliff that was tens of thousands of feet high. One wrong step, and he would be consigned to eternal damnation. He followed the interface and clicked on the reward icon on the operation interface. Ding! The reward for the Battle of Destiny has been unlocked. On the War God UI, a new golden icon appeared, next to War God Skills and War God Thaumaturgy. Gu Qin Shan's heart skipped a beat. Sure enough, the Destiny quest is the key to unlocking the icon on the War God UI. He quickly looked at the icon. A small line of text appeared on the icon. War God Title. The name of War God resounds through heaven and earth, spreading to every corner of the world. Your title is the manifestation of your will. User Gu Qin Shan, current number of titles, 2. Attention, you can only equip one title at a time. I already have a title. Gu Qin Shan looked down in surprise. Title 1. 15 Sword, personal title. Description: on the day of the semester examination, a single strike sent the top 15 cultivators of the semester examination flying. Because of that, the name Sword 15 has spread among the newcomers of various sects. Equipping this title grants you the personal skill. Sound Shock Primary. Sound Shock Primary during the attack. It will cause minor damage to the enemy's soul vessel. Title 2. Shaoqi Chaplain. Description: within humanity's allied army. This is the 3rd rank chaplain military rank. Equipping this title grants you the personal skill. Quick Attack Primary. Quick Attack Primary, the user's attack speed is increased by 10%. Gu Qin Shan sighed. Sure enough, the War God UI is worthy of its War God title. Every single War God icon is incredibly powerful. The 2 titles that he had obtained so far were only very basic titles. Because of that, the corresponding skills won't be too powerful. But looking at the primary label on the back of the skill, it's obvious that it's the same rank as a growth skill. Growth skills are extremely powerful. Shifting Flurry is a good example. Gu Qin Shan can already foresee, as the titles change, the effects of title skills will be unimaginable. If one day I can reach the level of the 3 saints, just how powerful will the personal skill of title skills be? No wonder the system gave me this reward early. It's quite a bit of motivation for me. Reading through the quest reward, Gu Qin Shan's mood calmed down a bit. There's no helping it. I can't hide from what I have to face, so I might as well try my best. Qin Xiaolu came up and pulled him toward the palace behind Baihua Palace. He excitedly said, "Junior brother, you'll have to pick a good mount." Qin Xiaolu was acting like he didn't care about anything, so he didn't notice that Gu Qin Shan's expression was a bit off. He was a bit annoyed. Shifu has a good relationship with a lot of spirit beasts, but she's usually very strict with me. Not letting me come here to play. Gu Qin Shan forced a smile and asked, "Senior brother, what's your mount?" "Me?" Qin Xiaolu laughed and took out a spirit beast bag. "Junior brother, please take a look." He patted his spirit beast pouch, and a huge black shadow descended from the sky, blocking their line of sight. Dong! A giant tortoise as tall as a two-story building landed, causing the ground to tremble. This was a frost mystic tortoise, a water elemental, second stage water elemental, quite strong. It doesn't matter if it's a battle, Qin Xiaolu spoke like he was showing off a treasure. The thing is, its shell has a frost effect. Normal attacks will easily miss. Look at the thickness of its shell. Its defense is truly amazing. Gu Qingshan was confused. But what does its high defense have to do with you? You don't know about this, Qin Xiaolu said proudly. I spent a lot of effort to place 3 space formations inside the shell. This way, if a demon attacks, I can hide inside the shell. Gu Qingshan stared at him seriously until she was sure he wasn't joking. Qin Xiaolu has this kind of charm. He can make you unconsciously divert your attention or even forget your own worries. Chapter 172. That's true. I didn't pay attention when I released it just now, Qin Xiaolu said in realization. He then put away the frost mystic tortoise. The two of them stood up and patted the dust off their bodies. After walking for a while, Qin Xiaolu pointed at a hall and said, "We're here." Gu Qingshan looked up and saw 3 large words written on the hall, Spirit Beast Hall. The two of them walked in and saw Spirit Beast tags hanging from red ropes hanging from the ceiling of the hall. Gu Qingshan released her divine sense and saw the names of the spirit beasts written on each tag in small, graceful characters. The entire hall was filled with such spirit beast tags. A rough count put the number of spirit beasts in the thousands. It was a spectacular sight. Those who do good are spirit beasts. Those who do evil are demons, Qin Xiaolu said emotionally. In fact, demon beasts are spirit beasts, and spirit beasts are demon beasts. Good and evil can be determined with a single thought, no different from humans. Master raised so many spirit beasts. Gu Qingshan was surprised. Some of them weren't raised. They hung them here to thank Master for his help, Qin Xiaolu said. What did Master do? Gu Qingshan asked. Nothing much. I helped whoever was in trouble. Trouble? What kind of trouble did spirit beasts have? Not enough food, being hunted, cultivation deviation, thousands of years of spirit herbs being stolen, and so on. These are spirit beasts that made a promise in front of Master, saying that if you need anything, they will come to repay you, Qin Xiaolu said. Master really helped a lot of spirit beasts. Gu Qingshan looked at the tags in the hall and said emotionally, "All right, what kind of mount do you want, junior brother?" Fast speed. Gu Qingshan thought for a moment and said, in terms of fighting, he could do it himself. But in terms of strategic movement, he had to move from one position to another. Sometimes a minute's difference could change the situation. Only speed, Qin Xiaolu said. Yes, Gu Qingshan replied. Qin Xiaolu made an I understand you expression. We really are fellow apprentices, he whispered. I know how to hide, and you know how to run. It seems that Master doesn't need to worry about our safety in this battle. Gu Qingshan didn't know whether to laugh or cry, so she didn't say anything. Qin Xiaolu sighed, saying, This time it's going to be extremely dangerous. Shifu didn't restrict what kind of mounts we can use, so I'll just give you the best spirit beast, he pondered and said. Fast speed. Then it's the single-horned dark demon horse, the glazed light emerald leopard, and the fire cloud chasing sky crane. After that, Qin Xiaolu waved his hand, and the 3 spirit beast tokens slowly floated in front of him. Pay attention to what you say later. Spirit beasts have their own temper. Moreover, these 3 are spirit beasts in the elixir realm, Qin Xiaolu whispered. Yes, Gu Qingshan said. Qin Xiaolu then released his spiritual energy and touched the 3 spirit beast tokens one by one. Clap, clap, clap. 3 figures appeared in front of the 2 of them. An unusually handsome single-horned horse, a leopard with a faintly glowing body, and a crane with a snow-white body and a crimson feather around its neck. The 3 spirit beasts stood separately, looked at each other, then looked at the 2 of them. What's the matter? The single-horned horse asked. Its voice was urgent and intense, and sounded like a question. Seniors, we're going to the front line. My junior brother needs a mount. Who do you think can help him? Qin Xiaolu was extremely polite at this moment. War, the single-horned dark demon horse, snorted irritably. There are dead bodies everywhere. Don't you humans find it annoying? Ah, Seniors, don't misunderstand. When the demons attack, we're also trying to survive. Qin Shaolu hurriedly comforted him. The glowing leopard spoke. There's nothing we can do about war, but in a place like that, we can't even take care of ourselves. Do you really think we'll have to take care of a Foundation establishment realm brat? Qin Shaolu smiled. Foundation establishment is only temporary. Humans advance very quickly. Perhaps when my junior brother breaks through, he'll be like a hot knife through butter. Come, junior brother, let's get to know the seniors. He pulled Gu Qingshan forward. Greetings, everyone. Gu Qingshan greeted. The three spirit beasts looked at him carefully. How old are you? The flame cloud chasing sky crane asked. Its voice was very gentle. This humble one is 18. Soon to be 19, Gu Qingshan answered. Going to the front line. Will you be with Qin Shaolu? The flame cloud chasing sky crane asked again. No, I'll be at the front line, fighting the enemies. Hearing that, the dark unicorn horse and the lazurite blue moon leopard exchanged glances. Very brave, very good. What do you think? The flame cloud chasing sky crane asked the two spirit beasts. I'm willing to be the fairy's mount. That's why I'm here. The dark unicorn horse turned its head away. He's too young, going to the front line like this. He doesn't know how cruel war is, the lazurite blue moon leopard commented. That's right, a brat like this still wants to go to the front line. Do you want me to be his babysitter? The dark unicorn horse was annoyed. The lazurite blue moon leopard shook its head. Troublesome, troublesome. Ahaha, seniors. Dash, Qin Shaolu smiled, wanting to say something else. Gu Qingshan suddenly patted his shoulder, signaling him to stop talking. Gu Qingshan looked at the two spirit beasts and said, Perhaps you're mistaken about something. The two spirit beasts looked at him. Firstly, war is a struggle for the survival of this world. A struggle for survival without any regard for their lives. It's not something you'll find annoying, Gu Qingshan continued. If this world is destroyed, you'll also be done for, brat. The lazurite blue moon leopard stared at him, muttering in a low voice. Qin Shaolu desperately tried to signal Gu Qingshan with his eyes, but Gu Qingshan ignored him and continued. Secondly, I'm not begging you to be my spirit beast mount. I'm only choosing because I have your tags here. If you're not willing, you can leave, and don't ever hang your tags in Bai Hua sect again, because you can't keep your promises, you brat. How dare you? The dark unicorn horse jumped up. This is Bai Hua sect. You dare to say I'm being bold here? Gu Qingshan squinted his eyes. Killing intent exuded from his body. The void of space flickered as the earth sword appeared in his hand. The earth sword vibrated, exuding intense fighting spirit. Ping! A pale blue sword phantom enveloped the sword. Can you say that again, senior? Senior? Gu Qingshan looked at the single-horned dark horse and softly asked. The three spirit beasts took a step back. All of their hair stood on end. Having been through countless years of brutal fighting, they're very sensitive to changes in the situation. Sword cultivator. Sword cultivators are all lunatics. From the look on this brat's face, he's definitely serious. He's definitely going to attack. Even if he can't win, he's still going to attack. The same thought appeared in the minds of all the spirit beasts. The dark unicorn horse stared at him without moving. Brat, the lazurite blue moon leopard muttered, but couldn't say anything else. All right, I'll be your mount, Flame Cloud, chasing sky crane said. Gu Qingshan was a bit surprised. Why, he asked. I've always felt that you're very brave, and to be accepted as a disciple by a saint at such a young age, your talents must be quite good as well, Flame Cloud chasing sky crane said. I've been stuck at Golden Core Realm for over 100 years now. If I become your mount and one day you become a great cultivator, you might be able to help me break through sooner. This is a chance and also a good thing, Flame Cloud chasing sky crane said. You're not afraid of dying on the front lines with me? Gu Qingshan asked. Even a Foundation establishment realm brat isn't afraid of death. I'm a Golden Core Realm beast. What's there to be afraid of, Flame Cloud chasing sky crane said. Very well, a female voice came. Chapter 173. Shifu, when did you get here? Qin Shaolu asked. A while ago, 100 Flowers Fairy answered. We greet the saint. The three spirit beasts hurriedly bowed. Bai Hua Fairy pointed her finger at the air. Out of the three spirit beast tags, 2 of them broke. Single-horned dark horse, Light blue moon leopard, from now on, you are not allowed to come within 1,000 miles of Baihua immortal country, nor are you allowed to use my name to do anything. If you do, this saint will punish you severely. From now on, flame cloud chasing sky crane will be Gu Qing Shan's mount. From now on, all cultivation scriptures, pills, and spirit food will be provided by our Baihua sect. Yes, the three spirit beasts lowered their heads, each having their own thoughts. Night. Orchid Hall. White Goose threw a jade tag to Gu Qing Shan and said, "Practice it well." Gu Qing Shan took the jade tag and scanned it with his inner sight, then felt a surge of emotions. This was a scripture jade tag. 100 Saints Core Formation Scripture. This was by Hua Saint's own scripture. In the past life, this scripture was very famous. The description said that this was the strongest scripture for Foundation Establishment Realm. Cultivating this scripture will increase spirit energy by 20% compared to other scriptures, and it's also much easier to break through to the next realm. Every player knows about this scripture, but because no one has become 100 Flowers Fairy's disciple, no one has ever been taught it. White Goose said, "Since you're going to the front lines, it's very likely that you won't be able to return to the sect for a while." Shifu went through several hundred scriptures for Foundation Establishment Realm. In the end, she still had to take out the one she practiced before Gu Qing Shan answered, "I understand. I'll study it well. How unfortunate I don't have soul points right now," he silently thought. "This problem is easy to solve. I just need to go to the front lines and kill demons." Gu Qing Shan can also start studying the scripture right now, but he has too many things to do, so directly using soul points to study would be more convenient. Xiao Xiao had been waiting at the side for a long time. At this time, she held a storage bag with both hands and raised it in front of Gu Qing Shan. "Senior brother, there are a lot of snacks inside. I took a long time to pick them out. You can have some if you're hungry," Xiao Xiao said. "Ah, our Xiao Xiao is the best. When senior brother comes back, I'll take you out to play." Gu Qing Shan put away the storage bag and patted her head. "Junior brother." A shout came from outside Orchid Hall. Gu Qing Shan quickly got up and went out to greet them. After a while, Qin Xiaolu followed him into the Orchid Hall. "How's the preparation going?" Qin Xiaolu asked. "Everything is ready. We're just waiting to depart tomorrow," Gu Qing Shan said. Qin Xiaolu patted Gu Qing Shan's shoulder. "About the spirit beast today, I've been thinking about it. It was my fault. I made you feel wronged. We're brothers. There's no need to say such things. Very well. As compensation, I have a good scripture for you here." Qin Xiaolu spoke mysteriously. "What good scripture?" "This scripture is something I've improved. It'll allow you to enjoy the ups and downs of life." Saying so, he tapped his inventory bag and took out a jade tag. As Gu Qing Shan looked at the jade tag and heard what he said, she felt a headache coming on. The last time Qin Xiaolu also took out a jade tag to give to Gu Qing Shan, but the white goose took it away right away. That time, it was spirit energy nurturing, a scripture that Qin Xiaolu specifically uses to pick up girls. Only after Xiao Xiao explained the scripture's origin did Gu Qing Shan understand, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. This time, she really doesn't know what he's giving her. Qin Xiaolu triumphantly gave her the jade tag. Gu Qing Shan couldn't help but accept it. As soon as the jade tag was in hand, a line of glowing text appeared on the War God UI. "Discovered improved super presence concealment script. Would you like to spend 10 soul points to learn it?" Gu Qing Shan was a bit surprised. Presence concealment is only a regular scripture. It's only used in combat missions where you need to hide your identity. This improved super presence concealment script actually costs more soul points than most powerful skills. It seems to be the best of the best. "But what's the point of this?" Gu Qing Shan asked. "Isn't this a presence concealment script? How can I enjoy the ups and downs of the human world?" "You don't understand." Qin Xiaolu kept her in suspense. I don't understand." Gu Qing Shan cooperated. Qin Xiaolu laughed. Then his expression suddenly became serious. "The true meaning of this scripture is divided into 4 words. I've never told anyone else about these 4 words. So, junior brother, you have to listen carefully." Seeing how serious he was, Gu Qing Shan couldn't help but become serious. "Yes, senior brother, go ahead." Qin Xiaolu's expression also became serious. pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. Gu Qingshan was stunned. Qin Shaolu continued. Go to the market square, where Qi training realm cultivators come and go. If anyone dares to provoke you, remove the presence concealment script and show them your true strength. They'll be begging for mercy in no time. Using this in front of a female cultivator will make your body and mind feel better. But Gu Qingshan asked, what if the other party has a senior brother or master to help them? Qin Shaolu clasped his fist. This humble one is by Hua sect's direct disciple. Qin Shaolu, may I ask which sect you're from? You're using Shifu's name like that. Don't tell anyone. Qin Shaolu hurriedly waved his hand. This method is for you to relieve your boredom at the front line. This is my ultimate method of relieving boredom. I'll teach it to you now. How about it? Senior brother is a good friend, right? Yes, senior brother. Are you a good friend? Yes. Qin Shaolu then looked at White Goose and Xiao, saying, all right, senior brother, junior sister, please don't tell Shifu either. We're all doing this for Qingshan's own good, Xiao helplessly said. Seeing as you're doing this for third brother, I won't tell anyone. First brother, haha. Even if I beg you, please don't tell anyone. Qin Shaolu smiled cheekily and bowed. White Goose squinted his eyes, coldly saying, don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Qin Shaolu then calmed down. Thinking about it, he felt that as a senior brother, he's being too considerate of his junior brother. After everyone left, only Gu Qingshan was left in Orchid Hall. Gu Qingshan looked at the jade tag in her hand, sighed, then put it back into her inventory bag. Fine, no matter how unreasonable Qin Shaolu is, he's still a good person. Suddenly, a flame came. Gu Qingshan received it and was a bit surprised. This flame talisman was from Gongsun Ji. He released his inner sight to check the communication talisman. A message came. Do you want to earn military merit right now? Of course I do. This is a matter of life and death. Only with military merit can I be promoted. If I can't become a Zhao Wu chaplain, I won't be able to increase my cultivation for 3 years. Gu Qingshan quickly replied. Yes, please teach me. General Sun Ji. He activated the communication talisman, which turned into a flame and flew away. A few moments later, the talisman returned. Gongsun Ji replied again. During the last campaign, you're the only survivor of the Vanguard Battalion. Compile all the information you have on the monsters into a book, including their characteristics, attack patterns, and weaknesses. That'll be a great contribution. Gu Qingshan was surprised. That's right, the first campaign was a probing battle between the demons and humanity. At the time, the demons had only just arrived in this world. If it weren't for Gongsun Ji and Ning Yuechan discovering the secret of Shenwu world, the demons wouldn't have gone to war like that. They still don't know much about this world's strength. The same goes for humanity. That's why even now, humanity still doesn't know much about the demons. At this time, compiling all the information on the demons and handing it over would be a great contribution. But I can't hand it all over, because at this point in time, some of the demons still haven't appeared. That's something I need to consider. As soon as he thought of it, he took out a jade tag and compiled the information on the demons that appeared at the front line. Chapter 175. An Uneventful Night. The next day, dawn. A red-necked white crane flew up from Baihua Palace, heading towards the horizon. The white crane was extremely fast. Every time it flapped its wings, there would be a faintly discernible cloud of fire surrounding its body. Any cultivator who knows how to fly would know that this was the fastest flying mount, the flame cloud chasing sky crane. This type of crane doesn't have much fighting power or defense. The only advantage it has is speed. Cultivators can fly by themselves, but if they're going to fight for a long period of time, they'll need a mount. Airships cost spirit stones, but spirit beasts don't even need spirit stones. At most, a few low-level fasting pills are enough. If a cultivator flies by themselves, they'll need to use spirit energy. And in a cruel war, every bit of spirit energy can mean the difference between life and death. So the best thing to use is a spirit beast mount. A cultivator doesn't need to use their spirit energy or stamina. They can even meditate and enter a state of cultivation. Gu Qingshan sat on the back of the crane, looking up. After leaving Baihua Immortal Country, They passed by Yushan Spirit Sect, Flowing Clouds Sect, West Mountain Sword Sect. The road became more and more desolate. There were cities, farms, and villages along the way. But as the crane flew, all of them disappeared. What replaced them were large, desolate fields. Even if there were some scattered villages, there was no one living there. Everyone, whether they're normal people or cultivators, were being advised to move inland. This place was already close to the front lines. Cultivators in 2s and 3s were scattered around, setting up various array formations. This place is the buffer zone for the front lines, so if there's a loss, the formations here will be responsible for defending and counterattacking. After flying for about an hour, Gu Shan saw the army camp. Although it's called a military camp, it's actually as big as a medium-sized city. There's a 10-meter tall defensive formation around the camp. Occasionally patrolling cultivators riding spirit beasts would fly past. This is basically a war fortress. "Let's go down," he said. "Got it, flame cloud, chasing sky," Crane replied. The cloud of fire descended, stopping at the empty field in front of the camp. Gu Shan took out a pill and fed it to the crane, saying, "You've worked hard. Rest up first." Flame cloud chasing sky. Crane ate the pill and went back into the spirit beast bag. Gu Shan strode to the entrance of the barracks. "Who goes there?" The two cultivators at the entrance shouted. "Shao Chi Chaplain Gu Shan, reporting for duty," Gu Shan said as she threw her badge over. One of the cultivators took the token and infused it with his spirit energy. The token immediately lit up. A streak of light soared into the sky, revealing the words Shao Chi Chaplain Gu Shan. The cultivator sensed the token and found that it was connected to the young man in front of him, so he nodded. He tossed the waist tag back to Gu Shan. "Go in," Gu Shan said. "Thank you very much." The military camp was bustling with activity. Who's going to prepare the pills for the A sub-battalion? Where's the formation plate? Have the Vanguard camp's array masters fix the array discs? We're going to charge the formation tomorrow. Why haven't you sent it to him yet? Who's going to record it down for me? The two western camps have fallen. I'm going to save them myself. A few great cultivators were shouting and shouting. All the supporting cultivators around them were so busy that they didn't even have time to rest. Gu Shan queued up, walked in front of the table, and put her badge on it. The cultivator took the badge, imprinted a spirit rune on it, and said, "Next." Gu Shan quickly took the badge and was led to another room. He looked at the sign on the door, only to see the words, Armaments Division. As soon as he went in, a cultivator took the badge. The cultivator released his inner sight and scanned the badge. A Shao Chi chaplain. He came just in time. Saying so, he went to the storage room to take out a set of armor. "Check it. If there's no problem, put your fingerprint on it." "Ah, yes, thank you." Gu Shan took the set of armor to the table on the side and spread out. This was a black armor with red patterns on it. The red patterns on it are very small, engraved in inconspicuous places. They're the armor's spirit rune formation. Breastplate, shoulder pads, helmet, arm guards, gauntlets, belt, knee pads, boots, all of them are brand new and of excellent quality. Every piece of this set of armor was a spiritual-grade equipment. Equipment forging, from lowest to highest, is divided into sharpness, treasure, spirit, law, and Tao. A spirit-grade equipment being in the middle is already quite good, not to mention it's a full set of armor. With this armor, you can fight without worry on the battlefield, without having to worry about sneak attacks from special demons like the Heart-Stealing Imp. The golden armor that Ning Yuechan wore before was a general-grade advanced armor. Wearing that armor, even if she just stood there and let normal demons attack her, they wouldn't be able to break through. That armor can be considered a high-grade magic tool. The amount of resources and time it takes to make it is unimaginable, so it's extremely precious. After carefully inspecting it, Gu Shan pressed his fingerprint on it. Seeing that he didn't waste any time, quickly inspecting it and even pressed his fingerprint on it, the cultivator was very happy. The cultivator said, "Very good. Now, I'll pick a weapon for you." He flipped through the catalog and spoke. "Let me see. Shao Chi Chaplain's grade. Ah, 2 weapons to choose from. What weapon do you want?" Gu Shan thought for a bit, then said, I'll use my own weapon, but can I exchange for a few more demon-slaying arrows? You don't want 2 weapons, only demon-slaying arrows? Yes, the cultivator looked at him seriously and said, according to the Shao Chi chaplain's grade, you can get 1 demon-slaying arrow, but if you don't want a weapon, I can make the decision and give you 5 very well, Gu Qing Shan happily said. The cultivator went deeper into the storage room. After a while, he struggled to carry the 5 arrows back. Dong! The arrows landed on the table with a dull thud. The cultivator breathed a sigh of relief and said, these things are really heavy. All right, you can inspect them now. Gu Qing Shan took one of them and carefully inspected it under the light. This devil-slaying arrow glowed with a dark light. From the tip of the arrow to the feathers, there were small and complicated runes engraved on it. The entire arrow was covered in runes, and there wasn't even a single empty space. Demon-slaying arrows were made from meteorites. They're very powerful, but there aren't many of them, so they're usually only used in crucial battles, very rarely given to soldiers. This is a life-saving equipment, so there can't be any problems with it. So Gu Qing Shan carefully inspected it. After inspecting all 5 arrows, he clasped his fist to the other party. There are no problems. Thank you. Come, put your fingerprint on the weapon receipt record. Got it. After Gu Qing Shan received his items, when he came out again, he was brought to a room by the guard cultivator. There were a few dozen cultivators sitting cross-legged in this room, waiting for the military order. The guard cultivator brought Gu Qing Shan in front of 3 other cultivators and told them, you're all here. You can start preparing. When you're called, you'll all set off together. Saying so, the guard cultivator was about to leave. The other 3 cultivators quickly checked their personal belongings to see if there's anything missing. Gu Qing Shan pulled the guard cultivator to ask for the location, then went to the military merit department. A few moments later, he came back with a smile. The great cultivators in charge of the military merit department had already been notified by Ding Yuan, General Gong Sunji, that he was coming. So they've been waiting for him this morning. After Gu Qing Shan handed over the demon encyclopedia, the great cultivators all looked at it and praised it. This is definitely a good thing, as it'll greatly affect the front lines. Gu Qing Shan received 100 military merit right away. From Shaoqi to Jinwei requires 180 military merit, so she's already halfway there. Just like that, the pressure from the Destiny quest was relieved a bit. Chapter 177. Among these people, one of them was wearing the same standard armor as Gu Qing Shan, while the other 2 were wearing grayish-white armor with green stripes. That was the battle armor of the Imperial Guard Commandant. Although the Imperial Guard Commandant was 1 rank lower than the Shaoqi Commandant, it was still a pretty good military rank. While there was still time, the 4 of them cupped their fists and greeted each other. Li Chu Chun, Spirit Beast Sect. Zhang Fang, West Mountain Sword Sect. By Haidong, Yao Guang Sect. Gu Qing Shan, by Hua Sect. After the 4 of them finished their introductions, Bai Haidong first looked at Gu Qing Shan and said with a smile, Senior brother Lung often tells me about you. You're Lung Tian Xing's junior brother? We can take care of each other. Gu Qing Shan also smiled. The 3 of them were very young, probably in their early 20s. Zhang Fang and Li Chuchan were at the peak of Foundation Establishment realm, while Bai Haidong was at the late stage of Foundation Establishment realm. Gu Qing Shan's realm was the lowest, but she was also the youngest. But no one looked down on him. The 3 of them had all become Foundation Establishment cultivators at a young age, and had even accumulated military merits to enter the ranks of military officers. Any one of them would be a proud son of heaven. Gu Qing Shan was able to become a Shao Chi chaplain. She must have real martial arts, real ability. Only then could she reach this step. Military merits would not lie. Not to mention, this is by Hua Saint's disciple. The minds of the 3 youths spun, and they understood everything clearly. Li Chuchen looked at Gu Qing Shan and clasped his fist. So at Sword 15, everyone chuckled. It was obvious that the incident at this year's semester examination had spread far and wide. Bai Hua Sect, a disciple of a saint, a young sword cultivator, quite famous recently. Zhang Fang asked, Fellow Taoist Gu, I saw that you went to the military merit office. Did you gain something? Gu Qing Shan looked at him. He was the same as Gu Qing Shan, a Shao-Chi chaplain, one rank higher than Bai Haidong and Zhang Fong. Yeah, I've compiled some monster records when I was in the vanguard and handed them in. Gu Qingshan said frankly. The expressions of the other three changed. This Sword 15 turned out to be from the Vanguard Battalion. That was the place where the battle was the most intense. It would be great if they could return unscathed. There were countless different kinds of demons, and there were too many to count. The characteristics and attack abilities of the demons were also very different. When fighting against them, there would often be unexpected situations, causing the cultivators to suffer greatly. The monster records compiled by Gu Qingshan can be used to obtain military merits, so they must be genuine, otherwise they wouldn't be able to escape the eyes of the great cultivators in the military merit department. Zhang Fong said, since you know the monster's weakness, you'll have to worry about it along the way. His words were clever. He was obviously letting Gu Qingshan take command, but he made it sound like he was the one who was troubled. Among the four of them, only he and Gu Qingshan were Shao-Chi chaplains. Since Zhang Fong had the intention to give way, then the person in command must be Gu Qingshan. You can't let two Yuan chaplains command the Shao-Chi chaplains. Lung Tianxing's junior brother Bai Haidong was the first to agree. Li Chuchen also nodded in agreement. Thus, such a temporary small group was born. A guard cultivator came in and gave the four of them their monthly salary. Shao-Chi chaplains get about 300 low-grade spirit stones. Yuan chaplains get 200 low-grade spirit stones. Zhang Fong put the spirit stones into his bag and said, I don't know when I'll lose my life, so if I have money, I'll have to spend it. When we get to the camp, I'll treat everyone to a drink. Gu Qingshan finished putting on her armor, smiled, and said, You're done treating, it's my turn. Everyone laughed and laughed. The atmosphere was very harmonious. At this time, a guard cultivator came in and called, Gu Qingshan, Zhang Fong, Li Chuchen, Bai Haidong, get ready to go, yes. The four of them became serious. Their relaxed expressions instantly disappeared. They quickly walked out and went to the general's tent. A general in golden armor looked at the four of them and said, You're all Foundation Establishment Realm. There's a camp suitable for you. He ordered, Take the four of you to Water Valley Camp. Immediately set out. No delays, he then took out a talisman arrow and said, There's only one whistling arrow. Don't use it too easily. Yes, sir. The four of them clasped their fists. Gu Qingshan received the whistling arrow and put it in her chest pocket. Leaving the camp, the four of them rode their spirit beasts and flew into the sky. A few minutes later, how much longer can we fly for? Zhang Fong asked. Once they enter the battlefield, any flying target will become a living target for the demons. Unless they're a great cultivator, no one would dare to fly in the sky. Gu Qingshan glanced at the map and said, After 100 miles, we'll enter the battlefield. We'll have to land and move quickly. Got it, everyone nodded, knowing what to do. No one said anything, but their expressions became cold. They're about to enter the battlefield. After a while, Gu Qingshan waved her hand. Let's land. Everyone landed at the same time. In front of them was a mountain valley and a dense forest, but there wasn't a single bird or insect to be heard, as if the entire mountain valley had lost its life. Bai Haidong grabbed a handful of the wind and sniffed it. For the past 3 days, there hasn't been any death aura here, he said. This seems to be his god's chosen thaumaturgy, but the other three didn't ask. No death aura means there aren't any intense battles. The few of them relaxed a little. Gu Qingshan said, Let's get to know each other a bit first. That way we can split up. That's how it should be. I'm an elemental cultivator, second stage water, Bai Haidong answered. My sect is a sword sect, but I'm an expert with a spear, Zhang Fong said. I'm a spirit beast master. I have a few scouting spirit beasts, and my martial arts skills are only as Sicily, Chu Chen said. Gu Qingshan nodded, saying, I'm a sword cultivator. He quickly arranged. I'll be the vanguard. Zhang Fong will cover the rear. Brother Chu Chen will place a few smaller spirit beasts to scout the surroundings. All right, one behind me as well. Bai Haidong will be in the middle. Watch over the surroundings. Hearing that, the three of them answer at the same time. Got it, this arrangement couldn't be any better. Li Chuchen also calmed down. He was afraid of running into some ignorant superior officer, so he ordered his spirit beasts to scout ahead. Battle-type spirit beasts aren't suitable for scouting, And scouting-type spirit beasts can't be the vanguard. Because if they run into a fierce demon, the demon will just grab and eat it, so it's useless. Raising a spirit beast is already very difficult. If it dies right away, the spirit beast master will feel a lot of pain. It's best for spirit beasts to be in the second position. They can move forward or behind, and can also be changed according to the situation. Once the real battle begins, they'll send out the corresponding spirit beast to fight. Gu Qingshan took the earth sword in his hand and led the way into the forest. When the other three saw that he had an indifferent expression and moved without the slightest hesitation, they were slightly relieved and followed him in. 2 hours later, the four of them rested. With our current speed, we'll reach Water Valley Camp by noon tomorrow, Gu Qingshan said. I'll leave it to you. I'll only do my best, Zhang Fong crossed his arms and said. Li Chu-chun and Bai Haidong also nodded. Just now, Gu Qingshan had displayed a lot of experience at the front line, be it in terms of marching or scouting. Everyone here was also a veteran of the battlefield, so it was only now that they finally recognized him as one of them. Very well, I'll take care of the rest. Gu Qingshan didn't try to push it away and calmly said. In his past life, he was a strategic commander, so his experience in fighting demons isn't any less than anyone else's. So what he's doing right now is just his old job. After eating their rations, the four of them continued on their way. A few hours later, they finally made it through the forest and into the open field. Stop! Gu Qingshan suddenly stopped. He squinted his eyes, looking around. Faintly, he could feel a very faint spirit energy dispersing. Was there a battle on the field? When the three people behind him heard his shout, they all stopped in their tracks. What is it? Li Chu-chun put his hand on the spirit beast bag and asked in a low voice. Fellow Dao Seeker Bai, take a look again, Gu Qingshan spoke in a low voice. Hearing this, Bai Haidong stretched out his hand and grabbed the wind, bringing it to his nose and inhaling deeply. The smell of death isn't too strong, but the smell of blood is very heavy, and the stench of demons is the strongest in that direction. Chapter 179. Gu Qingshan put her hand on her head and looked in that direction. The three of them exchanged glances. Zhang Fong couldn't help but ask, what now? They ran into demons so quickly without even knowing the situation, so the three of them were a bit hesitant. On this path, the strongest demons are at least Foundation Establishment Realm Peak, or even early Golden Core Realm. This place is still quite far from the front line, so the few powerful demons that wander around have already been cleared out by the Great Cultivators. The Great Cultivators have limited stamina, so it's already hard enough to deal with a group of demons several times their number. After clearing them out, they leave the rest to the Golden Core and Foundation Establishment Realm Cultivators to deal with the rest of the demons. The demons probably outnumber them, surrounding them and slowly whittling them down. Let's go. As soon as Gu Qingshan said so, her figure quickly flew forward. The three of them were a bit surprised. They didn't think Gu Qingshan would make such a decision in just a few breaths worth of time. Zhang Fong spoke. We haven't even reached the camp yet, and there's already a deal. He tapped his inventory bag, took out a spear, put on his shoulder, and chased after Gu Qingshan. Then let's go, as Bai Haidong spoke. He took out a cold dagger engraved with blue runes and followed closely behind. It wasn't until the three of them were far away that Li Chu-chun saw himself being left behind by himself. He tapped his spirit beast bag and let out a blue-eyed tiger. Sitting on the tiger's back, he shouted, "Wait for me!" The blue-eyed tiger quickly ran. Li Chu-chun quickly lowered his head and whispered into the tiger's ear, "Slow down a bit." The blue-eyed tiger let out a low roar and followed them, gradually slowing down. Gu Qingshan was still afraid that he wouldn't make it in time, so he tapped his spirit beast bag and let out the flame cloud chasing Sky Crane. "Senior, let me hear you," he said. Flame cloud chasing Sky Crane glanced at him, hesitated a bit, then let out a clear cry. The cry of the crane traveled far and wide in the wilderness. Sure enough, as soon as the crane cried, spirit energy waves came from that direction, as if it was trying its best to cast a spell. "Good job. Let's fly close to the ground. Let's get there quickly," Gu Shan jumped onto the flame cloud, chasing Sky Crane. The white crane flapped its wings forcefully and turned into a fiery cloud, galloping across the desolate plains. The flame cloud, chasing Sky Crane's speed, was extremely fast. In just 10 breaths of time, it had arrived at the location. Gu Shan stood on the back of the crane and looked into the distance. Among the horde of demons, there were a few cultivators covered in blood, standing back to back, barely holding on. How could it be them? Gu Shan was taken aback and became anxious. The trap cultivators were the 5 junior sisters that Ning Yuechan had brought with her during the semester examination. In front of them, a monk had lost an arm and was covered in blood. He kept chanting Therni, using layers of golden light to fend off the countless demons. Sensing that someone was approaching, he looked over with bright eyes. Their gazes met, and they immediately understood each other's identity and situation. Gu Shan's heart skipped a beat and shouted, "Hold on." Seeing how anxious she was, the monk suddenly smiled warmly. He formed a hand seal with one hand and chanted, "Un Amurga Gachaluo." This was a certain type of Therni from Buddhism. The Therni had great power, and only disciples of the Buddhist sect could cultivate it. As soon as he finished chanting, hundreds of golden swords appeared from the ground, forming a cluster, killing all the demons that tried to approach. After killing all the demons nearby, the golden swords hovered in the air. If any demons tried to approach again, the golden swords would automatically swing and chop off their heads. Such power caused the demons to feel fear. They quickly retreated, not daring to rush forward. After chanting, the monk closed his eyes as if he was peacefully sleeping. His spirit energy waves suddenly disappeared. He's dead. Noticing the change in his spirit energy, Gu Shan couldn't help but silently hang her head. She was still a step too late. As he let go of the earth sword, it disappeared into the void of space. A second later, the night rain appeared in Gu Shan's hand. It was only now that he entered the effective range of the bow. Rapid fire. Riding wind. From afar, the arrows flew towards the outer circle of the demons. The demons howled and fell to the ground. But there were too many of them. There was no way to kill them all in a short amount of time. Gu Shan quickly changed his title from Shaoqi Chaplain to Sword 15. He drew a demon-slaying arrow and placed it on the night rain. Bombardment. Piercing shot. Title skill. Sound shock. All 3 skills were activated at once. The demon-slaying arrow turned into a black shadow and shot out from the night rain. Boom! This arrow pierced through the layers of demons, hitting the most powerful crimson flame demon, smashing it to pieces before continuing forward. Countless demons were pierced through by this arrow, creating a large hole in their encirclement. The sound of the demons slaying arrow made the demons around cover their heads, screaming in agitation. The encirclement's momentum slowed down a bit. Until now, the countless golden swords on the ground disappeared. Gu Shan followed the hole and entered the encirclement. As he entered the encirclement, Gu Shan did 3 things. He put the crane back into the spirit beast bag, put away the night rain, and changed his title to Shaoqi Chaplain. With the earth sword in hand, Gu Shan leapt at the nearest demon like a wolf, watching a monk die right in front of him. But he was too far away to save him in time. The anger in his heart had reached a boiling point. Die for me. The earth sword carried 60,000 tons of force, leaving a series of afterimages as it was swung around. With the increase in attack speed, wherever the earth sword went, the demons couldn't even react in time, only to see that Gu Shan was clad in black armor, roaring as he charged forward. Wherever he went, the broken bones of the demons would explode, blood raining everywhere. Clang, 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 clang. He could hear the demons retaliating against him. But Gu Shan didn't care at all. After all, the reason he's wearing such a high-quality armor was for this moment of all-out killing. Bam! A piece of his shoulder plate was broken. Gu Shan didn't retreat at all. The earth sword dance was impenetrable. As long as a demon gets hit by it, they won't be able to retreat in one piece. Gu Shan's body followed the sword, circling around the encirclement. Wherever the demons tried to approach, he would rush forward and kill them all. With such a fierce attack in front of them, the trapped cultivators were finally able to escape from death's door. It's Senior Brother Goo. It's by Hua Sek's Senior Brother Goo. The 5 female cultivators all cheered. Being saved when they were about to die, this kind of surprise is enough to make them remember it for the rest of their lives. Don't let your guard down. Protect yourselves, Gu Qing Shan coldly shouted. The 5 female cultivators were taken aback for a moment before they regained their senses. They quickly huddled together and entered into battle mode again. But they still couldn't help but sneak glances at Gu Qing Shan. Seeing Gu Qing Shan charging at the demons like a mad demon, killing them as if they were livestock, the female cultivators were a bit dazed. Because he was taking most of the attacks by himself, the pressure on them was reduced a lot. From afar, another male voice came. I was wondering why you were running so fast. So you were saving the damsel in distress. Boom! The demons were pushed away again. Chapter 181. You take the left, I'll take the right. Gu Qing Shan quickly said. Got it, Zhang Fong loudly replied. He's also a Shao Qi chaplain, as well as a Foundation Establishment Peak cultivator. As soon as he used the spear's secret, half of Gu Qing Shan's pressure was taken off. At this time, outside the encirclement, layers upon layers of frost appeared on the ground, freezing countless demons in place, unable to even lift their feet. I can freeze them for 5 breaths. Hurry up. Bai Haidong's voice came. Very well. Gu Qing Shan and Zhang Fong's eyes lit up. Both of them used their trump cards at the same time. Secret Art, Water Flow Severance. Secret Art, Dragon Leaving Mountain. 1 sword and 1 spear, turning into the Grim Reaper that harvests lives, killing the demons in front of them. Like a meat grinder, the 2 of them circled around the 5 female cultivators, clearing out all the demons around them. Their charge was too fast, and they only cared about killing the demons, so when they met, they crashed into each other with a clang. Fortunately, their armors are sturdy, and there's a small formation to deflect the impact. Borrowing the force of the collision, the 2 of them safely separated. We can still kill them one more time. Gu Qing Shan looked at the circle of demons covered in frost from afar and said, Then let's do it again. Zhang Fong grabbed his spear and said, Go! Gu Qing Shan shouted, wielding the earth sword in her hand. Both of them changed positions, using their full power. Secret Art, Crescent Slash. Secret Art, Dragon Tail Swing. A streak of moonlight and a dragon flew into the midst of the demons, slashing and slashing, only slowly retreating after a few dozen feet. Your spear technique isn't bad, Gu Qing Shan commented. Your sword technique isn't bad either, Zhang Fong laughed. The 2 of them stood on the left and right to protect the female cultivators, but there weren't any demons left standing around them. The remaining demons in the distance saw that the situation was far from good and quickly scattered in all directions. At this time, Li Chu Chun also arrived. The group chased after them for a while before retreating. They came in front of the monk's body. After sighing, Gu Qing Shan buried him. Only then did everyone sit down and take a short break. Your injuries aren't light. Why don't you use healing pills? Gu Qing Shan asked. We used it up on the way back, the female cultivators replied. Gu Qing Shan then took some of Bai Hua Sek's herbs and gave them to the female cultivators. He then said, All of you heal up first. Li Chu Chun and Bai Haidong stay on guard. Zhang Fong and I need a rest, all right. The 3 male cultivators responded. They looked at each other. Zhang Fong was fine since he came late, so he didn't suffer any injuries. But Gu Qing Shan's armor was full of demon claw marks. Her shoulder armor was broken, revealing her blood-stained muscles. Looking around, the ground was littered with shapeless demon corpses. Not a single demon's blood could reach within 5 steps of the female cultivators. With a glance, the few of them knew what was going on. This young sword cultivator's combat ability is truly terrifying. No wonder he became a Shao Qi chaplain at such a young age. Gu Qing Shan hesitated for a while, but still didn't send a communication talisman to Ning Yuechan. First of all, the female cultivators have already been saved, and second, Ning Yuechan might be doing some kind of mission right now. If she gets distracted, she won't be able to leave and will be affected instead. Half an hour later, the female cultivator's injuries had recovered a bit. Gu Qingshan asked, "Why are you here?" Lu Qingyan's injuries were the lightest, so she answered, "We escaped from Water Valley Lake Camp and were chased all the way here." Gu Qingshan and Zhang Fang were both shocked. Zhang Fang asked, "What happened to Water Valley Lake Camp?" Lu Qingyan's expression was full of fear as she answered, "The demons have all gone mad, attacking the camp without any regard for their lives. We really can't hold them off." Zhang Fang's cold gaze fell on Lu Qingyan, then softened a bit and said, "Don't be afraid. We're here." Lu Qingyan noticed his kindness, so she looked up to see that he was a male cultivator wearing a Shao Qi chaplain armor. She couldn't help but feel a bit more assured. Gaining merit is too hard. Even now, they're only soldiers. For him to be able to become a Shao Qi chaplain, he must have gone through a lot of bloodshed, someone with real skills. Lu Qingyan gratefully nodded. Seeing her reaction, Zhang Fang smirked. Gu Qingshan went silent for a bit, then suddenly asked, "When the camp was attacked, what did the most powerful demons look like?" Lu Qingyan thought for a bit, then answered, "There were too many demons. I was too panicked at the time, so I didn't see any that stood out. How did the camp get destroyed?" Gu Qingshan asked again. The defensive formations lost their effect one by one. Then the offensive formations also started to have problems. Without the support of formations, the demons only needed to attack a few times before they managed to break into the camp. Hearing that, Gu Qingshan fell into thought. In a large-scale war, formations have always been humanity's strongest defense. If they can't break the formations, the demons can't fight against human cultivators in close combat. They can only passively take a beating. That's why the demons always come up with all sorts of plans to destroy humanity's formations as soon as the war begins. But I don't know what method the demons used this time. Since Gu Qingshan isn't a formation user, even if he's a reincarnated person, he can't just guess without thinking. He has to take a look at the camp's formation plate before he can make a preliminary judgment. After thinking for a bit, Gu Qingshan suddenly tapped her inventory bag and took out a whistling arrow. She infused her spirit energy into the arrow. A sharp noise was heard as a green light flew straight to the sky, visible even from afar. A few moments later, a Taoist riding a spirit beast came. His spirit energy pressure was almost solid. The injured female cultivators couldn't take it anymore and knelt on the ground. Noticing their situation, the Taoist retracted his spirit energy pressure. Only one whistling arrow can be used. Unless there's a big accident, it can't be used carelessly. Don't you know that? The Taoist sternly asked. As Gu Qingshan explained the situation, the other female cultivators also added on. The Taoist's expression slowly became heavy. "Take out your badges. I'll take a look first," he ordered. They all threw their badges up in the air. The Taoist first looked at the female cultivator's badges. These badges can record the number of demons a cultivator killed, but only high-ranking cultivators of humanity have the right to see it. Heaven's limits sex disciples. Not bad at all. Killing quite a few demons on the way, the Taoist's expression softened a bit. He took Gu Qingshan's and the others' badges, then glared at Li Chuchun. Li Chuchun lowered his head, his legs trembling. The Taoist returned their badges and said, "The two Shao Qi chaplains saved you in time, 5 merit each, 1 for Bai Haidong." The 3 of them were glad. Military merit is the most practical thing to get. The Taoist ordered, "Very well. All of you head south. There's a general guarding the camp there. You'll temporarily settle down there and wait for further orders." Yes, the Taoist priest nodded slightly and flew in the direction of the Water Valley camp. "What realm is he? Can you tell?" Zhang Fang asked. "His realm is too far away from ours. I can't tell for sure, but I'm guessing he's an ascended realm." Gu Qingshan thought about it. "Let's go Zhang Fang's side. We'll go to the camp first and settle down the female cultivators." "That's right. We need to leave right away." Chapter 182. This time, Li Chuchan was a lot more enthusiastic, quickly summoned a few spirit beasts, and placed the injured female cultivators on their backs. The group didn't waste any time and quickly headed towards the camp marked on the map. After running for several hours, the female cultivator's wounds haven't healed yet. So even sitting on their spirit beasts made them look like they were in a lot of pain. Their bodies were bleeding again. Guqin Shan couldn't help but call for them to stop. The sky was already dark. Guqin Shan looked around, found a place where there was no wind, and began to place a common formation plate. Without a formation user, they can only use single-use formation plates to arrange defensive formations. He told everyone, "Let's do this for today. If we run around at night, there will be casualties if we run into an ambush. Let's rest and leave tomorrow morning. Li Chu Chun, have the spirit beasts on guard by Haidong. Arrange some traps around the camp. Zhang Fong is quite strong. Go with him and be careful. The female cultivators are to heal their wounds." Seeing that he had arranged everything in an orderly manner, everyone left to carry out the order with peace of mind. After the male cultivators left, Guqin Shan turned around and asked Lu Qingyan, "Can you tell me more about it? How did the camp's formation plates break?" Lu Qingyan carefully thought about it and answered, "Now that I think about it, it was the two most important defensive formations that broke first because the other formations were still fine. No one paid too much attention to them." Guqin Shan asked, "Was there a formation user in the camp?" "There was, but the formation user was too drunk at the time. No matter how much we tried to wake him up." "What about the formation user?" "After the camp was breached, he was executed by the camp's general. When he was killed, did he wake up?" "He did. He said he didn't wake up. He was screaming that he was innocent. But at that time, everyone was angry at him. The general's decision to execute him was in accordance with military law. No one begged for mercy." Guqin Shan's eyes glowed brightly. "Very well. You can rest now." Thank you for saving us. It's nothing. No need to take it to heart." As soon as they finished talking, Li Chuchen came back. "What are you guys talking about?" he asked casually. Lu Qingyan opened his mouth and was about to say something, but Guqin Shan transmitted her voice to him. "We're talking about what to do if my pauldron is broken." Lu Qingyan was a quick-witted person. Her thoughts quickly turned. Then she sighed and said, "We were talking about Senior Marshal Brother Gu's shoulder armor is broken. What should we do?" In her heart, Guqin Shan was a disciple of the sage, a close friend of her senior sister, and had even saved her life. Naturally, she was trustworthy. The other party must have his reasons for being so cautious, so he might as well go along with what he said. Li Chuchan praised, "When Sword 15 kills demons, he's like a mad tiger, truly worthy of respect." Guqin Shan didn't answer. Instead, she tapped her storage bag and took out a big black pot. At this time, Bai Haidong and Zhang Fong also came back. Seeing this scene, Zhang Fong asked curiously, "What is this?" Making dinner, Guqin Shan changed the topic. "Senior Marshal Brother prepared some spirit cooking that can be eaten as soon as it's hot." "You're in for a treat," Bai Haidong asked. "Your Senior Marshal Brother, Zhuo Lang Young Master Qin Shaolu?" Guqin Shan answered. "That's right." Li Chuchen gulped, muttering. "So it's him. Then we're in for a treat." Everyone cooked the spirit cooking in the pot, then scooped out a few bowls for each person. Zhang Fong carried a bowl to Lu Qingyan, telling her, "You're all injured. Eat more." "Thank you." Lu Qingyan blushed a bit, barely managed to lift her hand to receive the bowl. She was the one with the lightest injury, but she still couldn't even lift her hand. Not to mention the female cultivators. A few of them couldn't even sit up. In such a situation, they could only rest for the night, then decide what to do next. Everyone silently ate the spirit cooking. After resting for a bit, Guqin Shan began to arrange the night watch. "Li Chu Chun and I will be on guard for the first half of the night. Zhang Fong and Bai Haidong will be on guard for the second half," everyone responded. Guqin Shan's way of doing things was straightforward, even leading the charge when killing the demons without any hesitation. Since he said so, no one had any objections. "There are 2 people in each group. How should we split them?" Bai Haidong asked. "One person at the front and back of the camp, 1 person at a time. No one is allowed to leave their post. If anything happens, immediately report it. After all, we have so many injured people. Everyone needs to be serious," Guqin Shan said. "If anyone violates this rule, I will punish them according to military law," he added, his tone stern. "Yes." Everyone nodded in unison. Among the cultivators here, His military rank was the highest, and since he was assigned a reasonable mission, according to the Cultivator Alliance's military rules, everyone must listen to his orders. Night fell. After a day of running around with their lives on the line, the female cultivators were all sitting down to rest. Zhang Feng gathered his courage, went to talk to Lu Qingyan for a bit, then returned with a flushed face. He crossed his legs and comfortably entered a meditative state. Bai Haidong's communication talisman seemed to be talking to someone. After discussing with Li Chuchun, Gu Qingshan and Gu Qingshan both left the camp and stood guard at the front and back. Gu Qingshan silently leaned against a large rock, thinking about what happened today. It should be a coincidence. It shouldn't be as I thought. After all, there's still half a year before the game starts. If it was as he had guessed at this point in time, then it could only be said that the world had gone crazy. While he was thinking, he took a look at the War God UI. Gu Qingshan, soul points, War God UI, loves to fight, loves to win against the strong. That's right, Gu Qingshan is only a Foundation Establishment early-stage cultivator. As long as it's the same as today, fighting against Foundation Establishment middle stage, or even late-stage demons, his soul points will increase by leaps and bounds. He was wearing a Shao-Chi armor, which was a rare and good defensive equipment even among the humankind. In a battle formation, it could greatly defend against the attacks of spirit creatures. And the Earth Sword in his hand carries several tens of thousands of tons of force, combined with his own secret art. He's unstoppable within the horde of demons. This is one of the 6 arts. Smithing gives a cultivator a boost. A sword cultivator is a fighting profession that only knows how to kill. With reliable defensive equipment and sharp swords, the offensive power that sword cultivators could unleash was much stronger than other cultivators. Looking at the War God UI, Gu Qingshan relaxed a bit. I need to increase my cultivation right now. With this much soul points, I can practice the Foundation Establishment scripture that Shifu gave me. Compared to EXP, soul points are much stronger because it requires less to level up, and after leveling up, my spirit energy is full. If it's EXP, the amount of monsters Gu Qingshan killed right now isn't even enough to level up once. Most importantly, soul points will help Gu Qingshan fully understand the next realm, smoothly breaking through and becoming a real cultivator. While EXP directly increases a player's level, it seems convenient, but it's only a crude way to increase a player's strength, and the player doesn't know the source of their power. Because they don't know anything about cultivation, they only have power, so in the end, no player was able to break through to Sainted Realm. This was the experience that players learned from their painful experiences in the past life. Many people lost their realms to train from the beginning, but before they could even grow, humanity was already defeated. Gu Qingshan silently stared at the War God UI, thinking for a long time. Suddenly, he tapped his inventory bag and took out a jade tag. As soon as the jade tag was in his hand, a line of glowing text appeared on the War God skills. Discovered improved super presence concealment script. Spend 10 soul points to learn it. Who would have thought that Qin Shaolu would give me the scripture that I need the most right now? The situation at the front lines is hard to predict. Learning this scripture, after breaking through later, I'll be able to hide my strength so that others won't be able to determine my true realm. Chapter 184. If all his worries are for naught, that's for the best. At most he'll just waste 10 soul points to learn an impractical scripture. But if something unexpected happens, presence concealment is actually a backup plan. Learn Ting. The user has learned the improved version of Super Presence Concealment script. Remaining soul points, a warm flow came from the Jade tag and gathered at Gu Qingshan's Thought Sea. He's completely learned the improved version of Super Presence Concealment script. This scripture is very simple. There aren't any stages. As long as he's learned it, he's learned it. Gu Qingshan tried a bit and found that he can mimic Qi Training Stage 1. The effect of Presence Concealment is quite good. That's good. Now he can increase his cultivation. He silently put the Jade tag away, then took out Shifu's 100 Saints core formation script, and spent 40 soul points to comprehend the Foundation Establishment Intermediate Stage scripture once. With 270 soul points left, he's completely learned the Foundation Establishment Intermediate Stage scripture. Now he can start breaking through. With Gu Qingshan's spirit energy capacity, it's more than enough to break through Foundation Establishment Intermediate Stage. Just to be safe, he took out a spirit energy replenishing pill and swallowed it all at once. While breaking through, he still needs to be vigilant to avoid being disturbed by any accidents and becoming demonic. He put his hand on the spirit beast bag, thought for a bit, then let go. Tapping his inventory bag, Gu Qingshan took out the formation plate he always carries with him. As he infused his spirit energy into the formation plate, a small vigilance formation was formed. For some reason, he sighed as he held the formation plate. Preparing early is better than not preparing at all. As he thought that, Gu Qingshan looked at the War God UI. A piece of information appeared on the Skills of the God of War tab. Common defensive formation plate, able to release vigilance formation, wind spirit formation, number of uses, 30. To comprehend wind spirit formation, 12 soul points required. Would you like to comprehend it? Yes. The user has learned how to arrange wind spirit formation. As the remaining soul points flowed, Gu Qingshan quickly understood how to arrange this beginner formation. Holding the formation plate in hand, he arranged another wind spirit formation. The range of the dual wind spirit formation was very large. It could observe the movements in all directions. If there was any abnormality, the cultivator would have enough time to react. With the support of the Windling spell formation, even if something unexpected happened, Gu Qingshan could immediately stop her breakthrough and get ready for battle. After finishing this, Gu Qingshan began to break through to the next realm. He crossed his legs, closed his eyes, and began to break through on the spot. An hour later, he opened his eyes. The spiritual aura on his body grew brighter and brighter. He had already reached the middle stage of Foundation Establishment. However, Gu Qingshan used the breath-concealing spell to reduce the fluctuation of her spiritual power back to the early stage of Foundation Establishment. Middle stage Foundation Establishment. 30% more spiritual force, just as I thought. Gu Qingshan felt the change in the spiritual power in her dantian. She activated the breath-concealing technique and controlled the spiritual power fluctuations she released to the early stage of the Foundation Establishment realm. Then, continue to break through to the late stage of Foundation Establishment. The amount of soul power required to break through to the late stage of Foundation Establishment directly increased from 40 to 80 points, doubling. But even so, compared to the past life, players used EXP to level up much faster. Gu Qingshan directly used 80 soul points to completely memorize the Foundation Establishment Realm late-stage cultivation method in his mind. He had 178 soul points left. At this moment, he was like a Foundation Establishment Realm late-stage cultivator with the corresponding realm and understanding. The only difference was that his spiritual force value had dropped to the middle stage of Foundation Establishment. It was like a cup full of water suddenly turned into a basin, and the basin found that it still had a lot of space to fill it. What else is there to say? I'll just take a pill to replenish my spiritual force. Gu Qingshan tapped his inventory bag, took out the top-grade pill that 100 Flowers Fairy prepared, and swallowed it. At the same time, he used the breath-concealing spell to calm down the increasing spirit energy fluctuations. On the surface, he was still a Foundation Establishment Realm early-stage cultivator. But inside Gu Qingshan's body, the rapidly increasing spirit energy was like an underground river, silently filling every inch of his body. 1 hour later, Gu Qingshan had become a Foundation Establishment Realm late-stage cultivator. But as soon as he broke through, he spat out a mouthful of blood as well as his pores. His meridians were all swollen and uncomfortable. His dantian also felt a bit of pain. His thought C felt like someone was hitting it with a giant hammer. This kind of crazy continuous breakthroughs is extremely dangerous. Even if he succeeds, it still affects the cultivator quite a bit. It was only because Gu Shan had the experience from his past life, as well as war god skills, that helped him fully understand the saint's cultivation method, that his spirit energy didn't flow backwards and explode. If it was anyone else, even if they were a monstrous genius, they would still try to break through a second time every few days. But in the next 2 days, humanity will definitely start the decisive battle. So Gu Shan doesn't have the time. I can only take a risk. He sighed slightly and swallowed another high-quality healing pill. Trying to rush things isn't a good thing. After this crazy breakthrough, he will have to spend more time to heal his body and get used to his realm. If it weren't for the strange situation that reminded him of the bad things that happened in his past life, he really wouldn't want to break through like this. At this time, a notification popped up on War God Skills. Due to the user continuously breaking through, comprehension of cultivation scriptures has entered a cooldown period. Continuing to replenish soul points will reduce the cooldown period. It didn't say how long the cooldown period would be, but Gu Shan understood it very well. In the end, I still need to fight. What the War God UI encourages the most is fighting. Half an hour later, Gu Shan opened his eyes and looked at the small camp behind him. The concealment formation and defensive formation are both still open, so they're probably resting. The surging spirit energy inside his body is calmed down and is under control. Gu Shan looked around again. In the middle of the night, the desolate wilderness was illuminated by the moonlight, like a sea of moonlight. Why is there no peace in this beautiful world? The wind started to pick up, the moonlight became hazy and finally disappeared from the sky. A thick layer of dark clouds blocked the moonlight, plunging the earth and sky into darkness. The wind started to pick up in the wilderness. The howling wind made it impossible for anyone to hear anything in the night. Unable to see, unable to hear, if something really is about to happen, now would be the best time to do so. Gu Shan grabbed the void of space and held the earth sword in his hand. Is there something coming? 1 breath, 5 breaths, 10 breaths, 20 breaths, 30 breaths. Time slowly passed. Gu Shan suddenly held his breath. His divine telekinesis sensed that something had moved on the barren land a few hundred feet away from the large blue stone. That thing was very careful, silently stopping outside the wind spirit formation, as if waiting for something. Gu Shan leaned against the blue rock to stand up, adjusting his sword grip. In the next second, the piece of land moved again, but this time it was moving forward. What's coming? Gu Shan squinted his eyes, carefully retracting his killing intent without revealing a single bit. He silently jumped on top of the blue rock, checked his direction, then jumped up high with the earth sword. A second later, he lightly swung the earth sword. With a sharp sword phantom, he struck the ground. Come out, he bellowed. Boom! That thing couldn't take the pain and jumped back, then came out from the ground, revealing its true appearance. Its body was several dozen meters long, as thick as a person. Its brown skin was covered in sharp spikes. Its mouth was full of poisonous fangs. This was a Foundation establishment late-stage burrowing demon python, evolved from a burrowing demon snake. Chapter 186. The burrowing demon python can be said to be one of the hardest Foundation realm demon beasts to deal with. Sword Cultivator, how did you find me? The burrowing demon python spat out a mouthful of poisonous mist and angrily asked. Working together with demons isn't a good thing. You'll lose your mind after a while. Why don't you become a spirit beast, senior? Gu Shan tried to persuade it. The burrowing demon python circled around Gu Shan, saying, I also want to become a spirit beast, but sadly, as a spirit beast, I won't have any human flesh to eat. Gu Shan looked at the camp behind him in surprise, but there's still no movement. Strange, such a big commotion. Why isn't anyone coming out? Before he could think, the burrowing demon python had already attacked. Poison sprayed everywhere. Gu Shan couldn't help but retreat. The burrowing demon python didn't let him go. As one person and one serpent fought, they were getting further and further away from the camp. Gu Shan looked at his position, blinked, and went back to the camp's entrance. Sly Sword Cultivator, The burrowing demon python spoke in a low voice. Poof! All of a sudden, the camp burst into flames. Oh no! Gu Qingshan's expression changed, about to turn around, but the burrowing demon python had already attacked him. The burrowing demon python's body is filled with poison. He has no choice but to block it. Gu Qingshan had no choice but to turn around to face it. The sword phantoms on his sword were getting brighter and brighter, ready to unleash a powerful attack at any moment. Strangely, the burrowing demon python was circling around him, occasionally preparing to attack, but carefully kept its distance and didn't actually attack him. Gu Qingshan was estimating the distance between them. At this distance, he can't even use ground shrink. Staying so far away from me, is it stalling for time? Gu Qingshan understood, swung his sword phantoms to force it back, then ran back to the camp. Seeing that, the burrowing demon python suddenly jumped forward, spitting out poison to block Gu Qingshan's path. It wants to stop me from going back to save him. Gu Qingshan understood. He took out the night rain and activated it. Shifting flurry, chaotic dance. 30 arrows turned into flying shadows and shot toward the burrowing ghost python. The burrowing ghost python did not expect the other party to have long-range combat abilities. Caught off guard, it was struck by the arrows and screeched in pain. Gu Qingshan's hands didn't stop moving. In one breath, she used up a whole quiver of arrows. The burrowing ghost python rolled on the ground, not daring to attack again. Forget it. That sword was too powerful. There was no benefit in risking his life. Anyway, the mission had been completed. When this sword cultivator was the only one left, it wouldn't be too late to deal with him then. As the burrowing ghost python thought about it, it quietly retreated. Gu Qingshan rushed into the camp and saw two burrowing ghost pythons in the narrow camp. Zhang Fong stood in front of the female cultivators, his body covered in blood. The valiant cavalry armor on his body was still intact, but a few poisonous thorns had pierced deep into the gaps of the armor, and blood was flowing out. Bai Haidong lay on the ground, vomiting blood. Gu Qingshan gritted her teeth, anger rising in her heart. Dying, he suddenly disappeared and reappeared next to one of the burrowing ghost python's head, pointing the earth sword at its head. The earth sword, and he became one, turning into a large white crescent sword phantom. Shah! The burrowing ghost python's head was cut off, leaving only its long body, twitching and rolling on the ground. The other burrowing ghost python opened its mouth to spit out a poisonous cloud, but Gu Qingshan took advantage of that and shot a demon-slaying arrow straight into the python's mouth, piercing through its head and out. Even though the two pythons were dead, Gu Qingshan didn't even bother to look at them. She turned around and helped Zhang Fong sit down. Gu Qingshan tapped her inventory bag, quickly took out a pill, and put it in Zhang Fong's mouth. Antidote pill. Eat it quickly, he said. Zhang Fong pushed his hand away, saying, It's too late. The poison has already entered her veins. I've been holding on, waiting for you to come back. Now she doesn't have to die. He turned around, looking at Lu Qingyan with nostalgia, and sighed. But how did I die? Saying so, his head slowly drooped down, his body silently froze in place, no longer breathing. His spirit energy waves stopped. Lu Qingyan stared at him blankly, tears silently flowing down her cheeks. The other female cultivators also started to cry. Gu Qingshan grabbed Bai Haidong and shouted, Where's Li Chu-chun? I don't see him. Bai Haidong breathed heavily. Gu Qingshan scanned him with her inner sight, then put a pill in his mouth. Where did these two burrowing ghost pythons come from? Gu Qingshan asked. From the front of the camp. Lu Qingyan wiped her tears and answered. The front of the camp? Hearing that, Gu Qingshan almost froze on the spot. He was guarding the back of the camp, while Li Chu-chun was guarding the front. Aren't there an alarm formation and a defensive formation? You didn't prepare anything at all? The formation is broken again, just like Water Valley Camp. Lu Qingyan cried. Gu Qingshan quickly walked over, picked up the camp's formation plates, and carefully looked at them. The formation plates were all slightly damaged. Not a lot, but enough to disrupt the formation's normal operation. Gu Qingshan took out a few new formation plates and rearranged them. The formation has been rearranged. All of you stay where you are. Don't move. I'll kill anyone who moves. Saying so, he headed towards the front of the camp. At the front of the camp, the field of vision was vast and endless. It was because this place was easy to guard that Gu Qingshan gave it to Li Chuchun. As Gu Qingshan came out, she looked around. The vegetation on the field was still intact, and there was no poisonous fog in the air. Releasing her inner sight to scan the area, she couldn't sense any spirit energy nearby. There was no battle at all. In other words, Li Chuchun didn't do anything and just ran away. Gu Qingshan just stood there blankly, not saying a word. From afar, Li Chuchun staggered back. We were lured away. Li Chuchun breathed heavily. What's the situation? Zhang Feng is dead, Gu Qingshan answered. What? Li Chuchun showed a shocked expression. Go say goodbye to him, Gu Qingshan sighed. Huh, that monster is too powerful. Just one touch and he'll die. How could he be so careless? Li Chuchun shook his head regretfully. He quickly walked into the camp, followed by Gu Qingshan. The two of them walked into the camp, standing in front of Zhang Feng's corpse. Li Chuchun sighed and was about to say something, only to see Gu Qingshan draw his sword and stabbed him through the chest. Within 5 steps, when a sword cultivator suddenly attacks and kills, not many people of the same realm can defend against that. Not to mention a sword cultivator like Gu Qingshan. Li Chuchun opened his eyes wide, clutching his sword in disbelief, kneeling on the ground. Why did you? He asked. Gu Qingshan's face was expressionless. I'm a Shao Qi. You're Yu Wu. I ordered you to guard the front, yet you ran away without permission during the march. Disobeying my orders is the same as harming everyone. According to military law, you should be executed, pay with your life. Saying so, Gu Qingshan chopped off his head. The corpse fell to the ground. Gu Qingshan didn't care about everyone's fear, searched around the headless corpse, and found a few spirit beast bags. Holding the spirit beast bags, he had a strange expression on his face. You stay here, I'm going to look for clues. Chapter 188. Wait, I'm coming as well. Lu Qing bit her lip and barely managed to stand up. Gu Qingshan turned around, saw the pain in her beautiful eyes, and spoke very seriously. No, you're not allowed to come. Stay here and rest up. Ignoring her disappointment, he left the camp alone and stood in front of an empty field. Picking up a spirit beast bag, Gu Qingshan infused his spirit energy into it. A fiery red fox appeared. Seeing a stranger, the fox wanted to speak. Li Chong violated military orders, so I've already killed him. Right now I'm looking for an accomplice. You obviously aren't one. Please return to the spirit beast bag, Gu Qingshan spoke. Hearing that, the fox rolled his eyes and said, If he's dead, then I'll return to spirit beast sect by myself. No, you're a spirit beast. You can't move without permission, Gu Qingshan continued. I'll use the fastest way to send the spirit beast bag back to the cultivator of spirit beast sect. Please return to the spirit beast bag. The fox didn't listen to her and turned around to run, saying, I'll go by myself. Always carrying it inside the spirit beast bag is really a cold gleam. Flashed. The fox suddenly jumped back, but was caught by the cold gleam and slashed into a rain of blood. Gu Qingshan threw the spirit beast bag away. He then opened the rest of the spirit beast bags. A blue-eyed tiger and a few other non-combat type spirit beasts looked at Gu Qingshan. What happened? The blue-eyed tiger asked. Nothing, just looking for the culprit of the camp attack. What were originally inside these spirit beast bags? Gu Qingshan looked at them and asked. He was also holding a few more spirit beast bags, but they were all empty. You'll have to ask our master. We've been staying inside the spirit beast bag all this time. We don't know what other spirit beasts he took in saying so. The blue-eyed tiger looked at the fox's body. It evaluated Gu Qingshan, then exchanged glances with the other spirit beasts. All right, go back to the spirit beast bags. Seeing that she couldn't get anything out of them, Gu Qingshan said. The spirit beasts fell silent and returned to their respective spirit beast pouches. Bai Haidong and a few female cultivators stayed in the camp. They were still in shock when Gu Qingshan came back. Gu Shan said with a heavy heart. Let's take a rest and continue our journey during the day. Nothing unexpected happened on the second day. The group moved forward carefully and arrived at the camp at noon. When he arrived, he realized that the place was already overcrowded. Two enforcers immediately stepped forward and led them to the camp's main tent. In the main tent, a general took the military orders from Gu Shan and the others and examined their waist tokens. This general wore a blue Taoist robe, and his armor was not on. "You're Gu Shan?" The general squinted at him. "I am Gu Shan answered. "Do you know who I am?" "Judging from your attire, you must be from the Azure Cloud sect." The general leaned back on his chair, looking at him with a meaningful look. "I am Azure Cloud sect's Wu Xingwen, in charge of this battle's rewards and punishments," Wu Xingwen said. So you're a Ding Yuan general?" Gu Shan acted like she didn't understand what he meant and asked. General ranks are divided into 4 ranks, from lowest to highest. They are Yu Ji, Ding Yuan, Yongzhen, and Shunwei. Gong Senji was a Ding Yuan general, while Ning Yuechan wore the golden armor and was a Yu Ji general. The only Yongzhen general of the current era died in the last battle, so the highest-ranking general of humanity right now is a Ding Yuan general. Gu Shan, I remember you did quite well during the semester examination. Wu Xingwen looked at her and continued. "I did. I killed one of your people. What are you trying to say?" Gu Shan was impatient. "If you have the ability, then use it. If you don't, then just say something to scare people. Do you really think I'm a greenhorn who hasn't seen the world?" Wu Xingwen paused, then suddenly slammed the table and shouted, "The number of people you originally had doesn't match up with the actual number of people here. What was the delay?" "Delay? During a military mission. Once you're labeled as a delay, you'll be punished." Gu Shan coldly laughed, not accepting this accusation. He said, "We didn't delay. Then where are they?" Wu Xingwen asked. "They're dead. How did they die?" "One of them was killed by the demons, and the other one was executed by me, according to military law." Wu Xingwen waved his hand and ordered, "Men, hard inquisition." Hard inquisition is a very crucial part of military interrogation. When cultivators go out to fight against demons, as soon as they kill their own people, no matter who they are, they'll have to go through hard inquisition. If the other party really did violate military law, then it's fine. They might even get a reward. But if they have selfish motives and a personal grudge, purposely killing or harming others, then they'll have to pay with their life. Very quickly, a cultivator came in, sitting across from Gu Shan. His eyes were abnormally bright, as if he can see into the deepest part of a person's heart. "All right, speak. I'll decide for myself if you're telling the truth or not," the cultivator said casually. Gu Shan knows that he has a God's chosen skill that can tell if he's lying, so she told him everything. The cultivator asked a lot of questions, to which Gu Shan answered all of them. Finally, the cultivator nodded and told Wu Xingwen, "They're all true." Wu Xingwen looked at the cultivator in disappointment, not saying anything. The cultivator nodded again, saying, "He's not lying." Wu Xingwen then begrudgingly said, "That Li Chu Chan brat. What's wrong with his head? Trying to kill his own comrade." His eyebrows were scrunched up, his face full of exhaustion and confusion. He already doesn't want to make things difficult for Gu Shan anymore. After all, she's 100 Flowers Fairy's disciple. Making things difficult for her is a good thing. But if he can't do it, then there's no need to force it. What he needs to worry about right now is business. Wu Xingwen muttered in a low voice, "What's going on at the front line lately? Quite a few camps are having problems with formation plates malfunctioning. Even those that are traveling like this have their formation plates malfunctioning. They can't all be traitors, right? If that's true, humanity will be in complete chaos. The decisive battle is going to happen in the next 2 days. But with the current situation, there's no need to wait for the decisive battle. As long as this news is confirmed, humanity's camp will collapse on its own. They were supposed to be preparing for the decisive battle. But with the current situation, is it still suitable to do so?" Gu Shan silently sat there, not saying a word. Wu Xingwen took Gu Shan's badge, formed a few hand seals on it, then reluctantly said, Finding out the traitor, saving your comrade, 10 merit points saying so. He tossed the badge back. Gu Shan took the badge back and checked it with his inner sight. Inside the badge, he saw that his total merit had reached 115. She still needs 65 more to reach the 180 merit required to become a Zhen Wei chaplain. That's enough. Take them to their tents. Wu Xingwen decided to ignore it, waving his hand to signal the cultivators on his left and right to chase them away. A guard cultivator led them away. Wu Xingwen stayed silent for a bit, then suddenly sighed. "Senior brother, what's the matter?" a guard cultivator asked in a low voice. Now that everyone else has left, the only ones left in the tent are his fellow disciples from Blue Cloud's Pass. Wu Xingwen shook his head, still a bit unwilling. He sighed, saying, "How pitiful. Junior brother only passed last year's semester examination, but he's already gone." The cultivators exchanged glances, then went silent. Chapter 211. On the other side, Gu Qingshan's group followed the guard cultivator out. While walking, the guard cultivator asked, "Which sect are you from?" Baihua sect, Yao Guang sect, Heaven's Limit sect. The guard cultivator turned around to look at the Shao Qi armor Gu Qingshan was wearing and said, "So you're Baihua sect or 15? His face warmed up a bit as he spoke. "Among us, you're the only one from Baihua sect. Heaven's Limit sect isn't here either, but there are a few cultivators from Yao Guang sect who just arrived yesterday. Is there one called Lung Tianxing?" Gu Qingshan asked. "Lung Zhaowu." "He's here," the guard cultivator said. "Do you want me to take you there? We female cultivators still haven't fully recovered from our wounds. Please arrange a place for them to rest," Gu Qingshan hurriedly said. The guard cultivator nodded and led them to a place where cultivators were gathered. The ground here was covered in stinking black blood. The cultivators were all wounded. Quite a few of them were being treated, moaning and groaning in pain. As far as the eye could see, it was a scene of desolation and chaos. Gu Qingshan scowled, then clasped her fist to the guard cultivator and said, "Please help me find a better place. They're all heavily wounded and frightened on the way here. If we put them here, they won't even be able to meditate." Saying so, she stuffed a handful of spirit stones into his hand. "There's no need, Yuha." The guard cultivator pretended to refuse, but was pushed back by Gu Qingshan, so he put it away into his inventory bag. Thinking about it, he still had a troubled expression. "There are too many people from the camp. It's a bit." Gu Qingshan then took out a communication talisman and said, "This is my talisman from now on. With this talisman, I welcome fellow Dao Seeker to visit Baihua sect." An invitation from Baihua sect. The guard cultivator couldn't do anything about it anymore. He looked at the female cultivators, only to see that their clothes were stained with blood. Their faces were haggard, barely able to keep up, supporting each other as they walked. One of the frail female cultivators was still trembling. In such a state, it was indeed unjustifiable to leave him here. It would be even more troublesome if he went berserk and killed someone. The enforcer cultivator nodded subconsciously. He pondered for a moment, then said, "We're all injured while slaying demons, so we should indeed give them preferential treatment. I remember a place. Come with me." The few of them followed the enforcer cultivator through the camp and arrived at a corner on the east side of the camp. The place was clean and tidy, and the clamor of the crowd could not be heard. It was rather secluded and quiet. Gu Qingshan sensed her surroundings and found that they were at a corner of the spirit gathering formation, where spiritual energy was abundant and endless. The female cultivators looked at it and were very satisfied. Gu Qingshan thanked the enforcer cultivator. He then looked at the female cultivators and said gently, "You guys rest first. Don't think about anything else. We'll talk about other things after you've recovered." "Thank you, Brother Gu." The female cultivators all looked at him, thinking about the life and death situations they went through on the way here, feeling a bit grateful. Wang Ningxiang gave him a communication talisman. Gu Qingshan received it, infused it with spirit energy, and heard Ning Yuechan's voice. "Tell him to send me a message when he's done," giving the talisman back to Wang Ningxiang. Gu Qingshan said, "All right, I understand. I'll contact her in a bit." Gu Qingshan nodded to the female cultivators, then brought by Hai Dong and the enforcer cultivator outside. As he walked, he took out a communication talisman, scowled, and infused something into it with his inner sight. There was a small orchid symbol on the talisman. The female cultivators recognized it as Ning Yuechan's communication talisman from afar. Then looking at Gu Qingshan, he had a very serious expression on his face, as if he was talking about something very important. Even though he risked his life to save everyone from the horde of demons, protecting them all the way here, he didn't act arrogant, nor did he act like he was proud of himself. Then thinking about the male cultivators in their own sect, whenever they did something small for Ning Yuechan, they would brag about it for half a month, as if they were close to the saintess. Wang Ningxiang rested her chin on Lu Qingyan's shoulder, looked at the man's figure walking away, sighed, then carefully looked at him again. "What's wrong?" Zhang Zuowei and Dong Shui asked at the same time. The relationship between the sisters was quite good, so when they heard her sigh, they all showed expressions of concern. "I've always thought that the saintess' most outstanding trait was her cultivation talent," Wang Ningxiang said. "But now it seems that's not the case. Then what is it?" Dong Shui asked. "It's your eyes," Wang Ningxiang muttered. Gu Qingshan and Bai Haidong were walking on the camp's road, led by the enforcer cultivator. After confirming the direction, they were about to find Lung Tianxing stop. Suddenly, a cultivator from the side of the road came to stop them. It was a young male cultivator. His eyes were bloodshot, as if he had just been crying. He glared at Gu Qingshan. "Did you kill Li Chu Chun?" Gu Qingshan looked at him a bit, seeing that he was holding a beast-taming whip, as well as 4 to 5 spirit beast bags on his waist. She immediately knew who he was. "I did." Gu Qingshan nodded. "You damned thief!" The male cultivator was about to rush forward, but was stopped by the enforcer cultivator. "What do you want?" the enforcer cultivator sternly asked. "Why did he kill my brother?" The male cultivator shouted. "I want to avenge my brother." The enforcer cultivator glared at him, about to take out a communication talisman. Right at this time, a group of cultivators hurriedly came, some old and some young, pushed the male cultivator aside. An elder-looking cultivator came, bowed to the enforcer cultivator and said, "Please don't use talismans. Please don't use talismans. He's still young. This is the first time I brought him out. He doesn't know how the camp works." The enforcer cultivator recognized him. Knowing he was an elder of Spirit Beast sect, put away the communication talisman and spoke in a low voice. "Look after him. There are no rules in the camp. If the general sees him, no one will be able to save him." The elder smiled and replied, then looked at Gu Qingshan. "Brat, which faction are you from?" "You're pretty ruthless," he spoke in a neutral tone. That kind of question made Gu Qingshan frown. "You don't care which faction I'm from," Gu Qingshan slowly spoke. "Because one of your people was afraid of death, he ran away while guarding the camp, causing the death of one of our Shaoqi chaplains. If we weren't a bit lucky, the 5 wounded female cultivators would also have died on the spot. That's why I beheaded him according to military law." And after the general's interrogation, there weren't any issues with the procedure. He looked at her, saying, "A deserter. I killed him, but you're talking to me like that. Are you trying to use your cultivation to pressure me?" As soon as he said that, the surrounding cultivators all nodded. Some even cheered. Chapter 2:12. Since Gu Qingshan made things clear, the cultivators all felt that he was doing the right thing. The elder saw that the other party was only a Foundation Establishment realm cultivator, so he wanted to say a few harsh words, but the other party managed to incite everyone's anger with just a few words. He couldn't help but scoff, then led his disciples away. "Brat, the mountain doesn't move, the road does." He released his rejuvenation realm spirit pressure and said without looking back. After the people of Spirit Beast sect left, Bai Haidong worriedly looked at Gu Qingshan and whispered, "You have to be careful of them." The guard cultivator also gave a rare reminder. "Spirit Beast sect's people are very vengeful. You have to be careful." "It's fine." After saying that, Gu Qingshan put this matter aside. The guard cultivator brought the 2 of them to a military tent. The 2 of them said goodbye to the guard cultivator. As soon as they left the tent, they saw Lung Tianxing. Lung Tianxing was wearing a Zhao Wu chaplain's armor, majestically talking about something. A few cultivators surrounded him, seriously and attentively listening to his orders. As Gu Shan looked around, she saw that there was even a golden core late-stage cultivator among them. The golden core late-stage cultivator was wearing a Run Young chaplain's uniform, nodding as he listened to Lung Tianxing's orders. In the army, a cultivator's cultivation is only used as a reference for missions. The one who's truly in command is the cultivator with the highest military rank and the highest military contribution. The cultivator with the highest military rank doesn't necessarily have the highest cultivation, but they definitely understand demons the best, are the best at fighting, have the foresight to command, and have a lot of battle experience. If something happens, Gu Shan can easily kill Li Chuchan who disobeyed orders. And as long as she's interrogated, she doesn't have to take any responsibility and even gets 10 military merits. Because of that, in times of war, military rank is the most important thing. As soon as the two of them came in, the cultivators all turned to look. Hi, Dong, Qing Shan. Why are you here? Lung Tianxing smiled. He quickly walked up, put his hand on Gu Shan's shoulder, and introduced Gu Shan to the cultivators of Yaoguang's sect. Everyone chatted animatedly. Bai Haidong recounted their experiences, and everyone sighed. Why are you here? Gu Shan asked. It's about the same as yours. The formation plate malfunctioned, and the demons just happened to attack, so we couldn't defend our camp, Lung Tianxing answered. The few of them looked at each other in silence. If the meaning behind this matter were to be revealed, no one would be able to calm down. In the face of being outnumbered, the reason why the human race was able to fight against the demons was because of the crystallization of the cultivation civilization that had evolved over tens of thousands of years, the 6 arts. Magic arrays were an important cornerstone of a cultivator's defensive system. If something went wrong with them during a war, it would be a very serious blow to the human race. Moreover, this wasn't just a blow to their defensive capabilities. It was even more of a psychological blow. What exactly caused the array disk to malfunction? The demons were all outside the camp, separated by the array. How could they rush in and destroy the array disk? Could it be a traitor? How could there be so many traitors? Once one thought about the problem deeply, one's heart would waver. Gu Shan went silent for a bit, then suddenly smiled. It's been a while since we've had a proper chat. How about we go out for a walk? Lung Tianxing nodded. That's perfect. I also want to go out for some fresh air. The two of them left the camp together, strolling through the barren wilderness. The sun was already out, shining warmly on their bodies. What do you think about this? Gu Shan asked. It's a bit hard to believe, Lung Tianxing answered. I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing as you right now. That's right. If this keeps going on and we can't find the cause of this, we won't be able to fight the decisive battle, Lung Tianxing suddenly asked. What do you think about this? Gu Shan squinted her eyes, cupped her hand, and looked up at the sun in the sky. Today's the perfect day. How about we find an excuse to go out for a walk? Lung Tianxing asked. That's what you're thinking? Gu Shan smiled. I don't know a lot of people. You're a golden core realm cultivator as well as a Zhao Wu chaplain. If I don't look for you, who else would I look for? Lung Tianxing answered. Since you've asked, of course I have no problem. The two of them returned to the camp, looking at the mission board outside the general's tent. This is a list of normal military missions. Unless it's a newcomer or an extremely urgent mission, the general won't immediately make the necessary arrangements. At other times, other than secret missions, all other military missions are displayed here for cultivators to choose from. This situation will continue until the campaign begins. At that time, the general will accept all the missions and personally distribute them according to the cultivator's rank and rank. How about this one? Lung Tianxing pointed at a mission board. Gu Shan scanned the board with her inner sight. 2 cultivators are required to head north to search for demon tracks, all the way to Hangu Pass. Only then can they return. Note: military merit. 3. Thinking for a bit, Gu Shan couldn't help but silently praise. Lung Tianxing really is a smart person. This mission's content is normal. There's a lot of freedom. The military merit is average, so it won't attract much attention. Gu Shan said, I think it's a good idea. The two of them took off the mission board and reported it to the secretary's office. The guard cultivator gave the two of them the mission board, telling them, Go and return quickly. Tomorrow the army will need to make arrangements to prepare for the decisive battle. If you're late, be careful of military law. Don't worry, we're not deserters, Long Tianxing smiled and said. The guard cultivator looked at their armors, changed his expression, and signed his name on the mission board. With his signature, the two of them can go and complete this mission. Gu Shan and Lung Tianxing thanked the guard cultivator and left the secretary's office. Let's return to Yao Guangsek's camp first. I'll tell everyone, otherwise they'll be worried for nothing if they can't find me, Lung Tianxing said. That's how it should be. Gu Shan nodded and said, That's perfect. Let's finish dinner first before we leave. They returned to Yao Guangsek's camp and told everyone about it. Everyone was surprised, but since one of them is a Zhao Wu chaplain, the other is a Shao Qi chaplain, their ranks are higher than everyone else's, so if they want to take on a mission by themselves, no one can say anything. Bai Haidong and Gu Shan are already familiar with each other, so he was quite tempted by the mission. After all, this kind of mission is very simple, and there's even military merit to be earned. He turned to Gu Shan and said, Sword 15, how about I go with you? Gu Shan smiled. This mission only allows 2 people to go. If you want to go, your senior brother can't. Bai Haidong looked at Lung Tianxing and hurriedly said, Senior brother. Lung Tianxing cut him off and said, You can't, I'll go. Why can't I? Bai Haidong asked, You and me, who's better? Lung Tianxing patted the Zhao Wu armor he was wearing and said, But Sword 15, he can. Bai Haidong was unwilling to give up. This is Sword 15's mission. You can't compete with me, but can you compete with him? Or do you want to steal his mission? I don't want to steal from him. Chapter 2:13. After dinner, Gu Shan and Lung Tianxing said goodbye to Yao Guangsek's people and left the camp. They moved extremely quickly, flying all the way to the north. Hangu Pass. I remember it only fell 2 days ago, Lung Tianxing recalled. It's probably being ravaged by demons right now, Gu Shan said. Now can you tell me what we need to do? Lung Tianxing said. I can't hide it from you, Gu Shan smiled. Let's go take a look at the destroyed camps, then go to Hangu Pass destroyed camps? Lung Tianxing opened his mouth, wanting to say there's nothing to see there, but decided against it. Yeah, let's go take a look. Maybe we'll find something, Gu Shan said. There's nothing but ruins, not even corpses left. They were all eaten by the demons, Lung Tianxing said. Let's go take a look. Gu Shan smiled and said. The two of them continued to fly, passing through mountains, swamps, forests. Only when they were about to reach a lake did they stop. Water Valley Camp? That seems to be the location of your original mission. Lung Tianxing looked at Gu Shan. That's right. Let's be careful and slowly go take a look, Gu Shan said. The two of them took out their weapons. Gu Shan wielded the earth sword. Lung Tianxing held the jade fan, silently heading towards the camp next to Water Valley Lake. The barracks were in a mess. Apart from blood, there was only mud, and a foul smell lingered in the air. After the massacre, the demons had already left this place to fight elsewhere. Unless a high-ranking demon gives an absolute order, the demons don't have the concept of defending a base. Their minds are only filled with killing and eating humans. Wherever there's a human scent, they'll just swarm towards it. Under normal circumstances, the high-ranking demon's job is to lead them to attack human camps one by one. The two of them carefully enter the camp. Lung Tianxing pinched his nose and scowled. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have come in, Gu Shan recalled back in Shenwu World. Lung Tianxing would rather die in battle than smear the rotting eater demon's eyeball on his body. So she was surprised. This kid has a serious obsession with cleanliness. He said apologetically, I'll be done quickly. You just need to be on guard. Hearing that he only needs to be on guard, Lung Tianxing silently sighed in relief. Gu Shan did not care about the minced flesh, broken bones, and tattered robes that were stained with blood at all. She searched through the place and was so focused that she almost forgot everything else. Lung Tianxing was silently impressed. If it was him, he definitely wouldn't take a second look. Gu Qingshan watched for half an hour before returning to Lung Tianxing's side. Wash your hands. Lung Tianxing scowled, waved his jade fan, causing a large water droplet to float in midair. Gu Qingshan used the water to wash his hands, as well as the armor on his hand. He held a few broken formation plates in his hand and spread them out like treasures. Array plate? Did you find all the problematic formation plates? Lung Tianxing asked. That's right. Maybe I'll find some clues, Gu Qingshan replied. When the previous camps were destroyed, many generals and formation users tried to look through the formation plates, but couldn't find the culprit, Lung Tianxing said. Gu Qingshan said, I want to try. All right, I hope you'll succeed. When the time comes, I'll bask in your glory and get some military merit, Lung Tianxing said. That's encouragement. If it was anyone else, they might think that most of the generals couldn't find anything, but you, a Shaoqi soldier, want to look, that's a bit arrogant and self-righteous. Lung Tianxing didn't think he was arrogant at all. Instead, saying that means he's already treating him as a true friend. Gu Qingshan smiled and said, Don't worry, if I really get some military merit, I won't forget about you no matter what. He carefully cleaned and tidied up the formation plates before putting them away. Let's go to the next camp. All right, the two of them left at the same time. After running for about an hour, they finally reached their next destination. Just like that, they spent an entire night looking through many camps, looking through a lot of abandoned formation plates. After spending an entire night running around without caring about their stamina and spirit energy, the two of them were a bit tired. They found a secluded place, ate some food, and rested. Gu Qingshan took out the abandoned formation plates one by one, placing them all in the open space in front of him. He seriously looked through them. Lung Tianxing finally couldn't help himself and said, I've already looked through these formation plates. The formation users didn't find anything wrong. I don't see the same thing as them, Gu Qingshan said as he looked through them. How so? Lung Tianxing was intrigued. They're looking at formation plates. I'm not, Gu Qingshan said. He picked up a broken formation plate, looked at it for a bit, shook his head, and put it down. After a while, he picked up another formation plate, looked at it again, then put it down again. All right, Lung Tianxing sighed. I hope you'll find something, Chem? His voice became louder. Gu Qingshan suddenly picked up a formation plate, not putting it down for a while. He carefully held the array disc, as if he was holding a rare treasure. What is it? Lung Tianxing asked. It's nothing, Gu Qingshan answered. He stared at the War God UI. A line of glowing text appeared on the War God Skills tab. Hard-piercing wind claw, non-human skill, unable to learn. He stared at this line of text for a long time without saying anything. A minute later, the two of them started moving again. Right now, we're using spirit beasts as our mounts, Gu Qingshan said. Lung Tianxing was a bit surprised. Spirit beasts can't fly. Flying low is fine. We're also tired. We need to conserve our stamina. In case there's a fight, we'll have enough strength to fight back, Gu Qingshan said with a strange expression on his face. All right, then. Lung Tianxing didn't notice Gu Qingshan's expression. Thinking that what she said was reasonable, he nodded. The two of them tapped their inventory bags and let out their spirit beasts. Gu Qingshan is obviously a flame cloud chasing sky crane, while Lung Tianxing is a giant butterfly. This giant butterfly is blue in color. It's obvious that it's a water-type spirit beast tamed by humans to become a battle mount. A Foundation establishment late-stage demon beast. Gu Qingshan smiled and asked, That's right, you're only Foundation establishment early stage. You're not even as good as my demon beast. You need to work hard on your cultivation, Lung Tianxing joked. The two of them got on their spirit beasts and headed towards the next camp. A few hours later, Disordered Mountain Camp. Gu Qingshan and Lung Tianxing stood on top of a hill, putting away their spirit beasts. They looked down. There seems to be someone. Gu Qingshan squints her eyes. There's someone? That's impossible. Lung Tianxing peeked his head out, looking towards the camp. It's too far away. Even with his eyesight, he can't see too clearly. I do have a spirit beast that can scout. Saying so, Lung Tianxing reached into his inventory bag. His hand was caught by Gu Qingshan. No, it's a bit dangerous right now. There's no need for spirit beasts. We'll go see ourselves, Gu Qingshan said. The two of them slowly approached the camp. Chapter 214. Lung Tianxing looked ahead, muttering, "What is that thing?" Gu Qingshan's body stiffened, gritting her teeth with a serious expression. In the middle of the military camp, a black shadow was silently floating in the air. On the ground littered with bones, a long black light occasionally appeared, as if something was struggling inside the black light. The black light floated up and was absorbed into the floating black shadow's body. At first glance, this black shadow looks like the silhouette of a person. But if you look closely, the black shadow looks like countless people, as thin as paper, stacked on top of each other. The black shadow spoke in a human voice, its tone full of joy. "So many. I want more. I want more." But this voice sounded like hundreds of thousands of people of all ages and genders opening their mouths at the same time, saying the same thing. This eerie voice made the hair on Lung Tianxing's back stand up. "I can't believe I ran into it again," Gu Qingshan silently muttered in his mind. He pulled Lung Tianxing along and silently retreated. Lung Tianxing glanced at him, only to see that Gu Qingshan's expression was very serious. His forehead was covered in a thin layer of cold sweat. What kind of person is Lung Tianxing? As soon as Gu Qingshan's expression changed, he immediately understood the current situation. This eerie demon, Gu Qingshan, seems to know it, and from the heavy expression on his face, this demon must be very strong. Lung Tianxing quickly reacted, following Gu Qingshan, and slowly retreated. When they were about 5 feet away, Gu Qingshan suddenly let out a thunderous roar. "Use full power." Before he finished, Gu Qingshan had already raised the earth sword in his hand. The earth sword blade was covered in a layer of exploding lightning, then strengthened by a blinding sword phantom. It's only a secret art, crescent slash, but he used 120% of his power to perform it, turning it into a blinding sun. In the darkness, the unparalleled sword phantom exploded, illuminating the entire forest as if it was daytime. The earth sword drew a sharp arc in the air, striking behind the two of them. Coincidentally, the black shadow appeared behind the two of them and was struck by the arc-shaped sword aura on the spot. Gu Qingshan activates her Thunder Reiki and activates, out of control. The black shadow suddenly stopped in midair. A second later, billions of screams and wails came from the black shadow. This voice was like an invisible hammer, causing both Gu Qingshan and Lung Tianxing to spit out blood. The black shadow was not feeling well either. This time, Gu Qingshan used the secret art, crescent slash, combined with uncontrollable lightning. Its power was unparalleled. Lightning also naturally possessed the power to destroy evil, increasing the damage it could inflict on demons by 30%. This sword strike might not be able to severely injure the shadow, but it would definitely cause it great pain and discomfort. Enduring the intense pain in his soul vessel, Lung Tianxing finally finished forming the hand seal. When Gu Qingshan shouted those 3 words, he knew that the situation had changed, and he had to do his best. Without hesitation, he began to form the hand seal. He believes that Gu Qingshan will definitely give him enough time to use this 5 elemental secret art. The two of them have fought their way through the sea of demons in Shunwu world, so they've already established a tacit understanding with each other. Sure enough, when the black shadow was about to attack, it was struck by Gu Qingshan's sword ray, stopping in midair. Lung Tianxing shouted, "Die!" His hand seal was aimed at the black shadow, releasing it with all his might. 5 elemental secret art, silence of all beings. This is a power that only a 3rd stage water elemental user can use, but Lung Tianxing used all of his power to cast it above his own level. A giant, transparent ice ball emitting frosty white mist gradually formed in the air, completely trapping the strange black shadow within it. From the moment Gu Qing attacked to the moment he attacked, it only took 2 seconds. It was this kind of reaction time and coordination that saved their lives. The first second, Gu Qing struck the black shadow that suddenly appeared. A second later, the black shadow broke free from the lightning, roared, and Lung Tianxing released the hand seal. The black shadow's roar stopped. It was completely frozen inside the giant, transparent sphere of ice, not moving at all. Slowly, a layer of frost covered the black shadow, turning it into a pure white color. Lung Tianxing looked at his work with satisfaction, about to say something, but then Gu Qing shouted, "Run!" As soon as Gu Qing shouted, she ran. Lung Tianxing was a bit surprised, but was already dragged by Gu Qing. The two of them turned into a streak of light, running back the way they came. Finally, he was a little puzzled. This is a 5-elemental secret art I cast above my own level. Even a golden core cultivator of the same level as me would die without a doubt. Why are you so unconfident in me? When Lung Tianxing was about to explain the power of this technique, he heard a small sound coming from behind him. Crack! A thin crack appeared on the surface of the sphere of ice. Following that, more cracks appeared on the sphere of ice. These cracks quickly spread, becoming bigger and bigger. Lung Tianxing felt a chill down his spine. Now he finally understood how terrifying this demon was. Demons, demons, demons. Most commonly seen are demons. Demons are extremely rare, and each one of them has unimaginable power. This one demon was beyond his understanding of demons. Lung Tianxing didn't dare to be careless anymore. Using his full strength, he overtook Gu Qing and ran forward. As the two of them ran for their lives, they only made it a few dozen feet before they heard a loud explosion behind them. So fast, Lung Tianxing's expression changed. But Gu Qing had already jumped up, flipped her body in the air, and pulled back the night rain. Sha sha sha. 3 black streaks of light flashed and disappeared. These were the 3 remaining demon-slaying arrows. Great shot, rapid shot, riding wind, bombardment. Using all of his skills, all 3 arrows were shot. Gu Qing fell, rolled twice on the ground, tried to stand up, but couldn't. Bombardment is a high-level archery technique used to kill monsters above his level. Gu Qing used it 3 times in a row, plus the secret art, Crescent Beheader, and Lightning Thaumaturgy from before. The side effects of using all of his strength made him unable to muster any strength. Seeing that, Lung Tianxing hurriedly ran up, carried him on his back, and ran for his life. The 3 demon-slaying arrows whistled towards the shadow. The shadow had just escaped from the sphere of ice. The white frost on its body still hasn't fully receded. All 3 arrows hit the shadow. Countless angry roars reverberated in the surroundings. As the demon-slaying arrows hit the shadow's chest, their momentum suddenly slowed down. All kinds of screams and wails of death came from the black shadow. Every time the demon-slaying arrows went in, countless human figures would appear from the shadow, then disappear. The 3 demon-slaying arrows and the shadow became a stalemate. A few dozen breaths later, the 3 demon-slaying arrows turned to dust and were blown away by the wind. The shadow also became a lot thinner, looking like it was about to collapse. Countless cries of men and women of all ages came from the shadow, spreading all around. The shadow slowly moved, seemingly looking for information about the enemy. After a while, the shadow seemed to have given up and started to make strange noises. It was as if it was talking to the countless entities in the void of space. On the other side, Gu Qing was lying on Lung Tianxing's back, took out a high-quality pill, and swallowed it. If you have something to say, just say it. He saw Lung Tianxing's hesitant expression and said. Just now, Lung Tianxing was flying as fast as he could, breathing heavily. I saw you shoot 3 demon-slaying arrows just now. You still couldn't kill it. I couldn't, Gu Qing answered. Its body is made up of countless souls. It's at least a 10,000-man soul. With our strength, we can't kill it. It doesn't seem to be able to catch up, Lung Tianxing said. Because long-distance raids aren't suitable for it. and it doesn't need to chase, Gu Shan answered. Why? Because it can order the demon army to chase us, Gu Shan sighed, then continued. This is a true demon, not something those muddle-headed demons can compare to. After saying so, Gu Shan went silent and began to circulate her spirit energy to absorb the pill's effect. Things are becoming more and more like what I thought they would be. However, the appearance of this demonic creature was truly unexpected. Tianma are divided into invisible Tianma and visible Tianma. Invisible Tianma can only grow by eating human souls, while visible Tianma can only imprison souls, using them as their own life force. Just now, it was a young, tangible heavenly demon. From its state, just now, it only managed to imprison around 10,000 souls, and it's still collecting them. If a visible Tianma manages to imprison 100,000 souls, it will evolve into a visible Tianma king. If that's the case, Gu Shan and Lung Tianxing wouldn't be able to escape. From his previous life's battle experience, only the Therni of the Buddhist sect could restrain the heavenly demon. Using other spells to deal with it would require a lot of effort in order to be effective. And because it's sentient, it can read every soul's memory, so it knows everything about humanity's battlefield. The fact that a visible Tianma is at the front line means the demon army is already prepared, preparing for the decisive battle. I really can't think of anything else to say. It's clearly humanity who wants to counterattack and fight, but the demon army is also prepared for the same thing. Didn't they already turn their attention to reality? Where did their confidence come from this time's attack? Most importantly, I've only checked a few military camps on my way here. Why did I run into it? Gu Shan's mind moved like lightning, thinking about it for a long time, but the truth is getting closer and closer to that terrifying answer. What do we do now? Lung Tianxing breathed heavily and asked. You're a Zhao Wu chaplain. You could decide for yourself. Why are you asking a Shao Qi chaplain like me? Gu Shan was thinking about something and casually answered. Whenever I'm with you, I don't know how to command anymore. Lung Tianxing seriously thought about it. Then let's stop for now, Gu Shan said. Lung Tianxing stopped. I have something I need to do, Gu Shan said. Lung Tianxing understood what he was thinking and asked. Alone? Yes, that's why your mission is heavy. You have to complete the merit mission alone, Gu Shan said. That's not a problem. That mission is pretty easy, Lung Tianxing said. Also, Gu Shan thought for a bit, then asked, Your spirit beast, can I borrow it for a bit? What's there to ask? We've been through life and death together, back in Shenwu world. If it weren't for you, I would have been done for. Chapter 215. Lung Tianxing looked at Gu Shan and spoke very seriously. Not to mention, during the Baihua list, it was thanks to your help that I managed to get the Saints' help to take down the poison spider. Gu Shan smiled and said, How do you remember that so clearly? Then I'll be going. After the mission is done, contact me through a communication talisman, Lung Tianxing said without hesitation. All right, be careful, Gu Shan said. I'm a golden core cultivator, so I won't be a problem. I just feel like you're a bit dangerous, Lung Tianxing hesitantly asked. Your only foundation establishment early stage. Can you really wander around the wilderness by yourself? Don't worry, Gu Shan assured him. All right, then I'll be going. I'll contact you after the mission is done, Lung Tianxing said. Saying so, he dashed away without hesitation. After he left, Gu Shan tapped her inventory bag and took out a communication talisman. He spoke slowly and carefully in the communication talisman. After a long time, he released the communication talisman and flew away. Baihua Mortal Country. Baihua Palace. 100 Flowers Fairy sat on her throne of 10,000 flowers, looking down at the two people below. Is it really that serious? She asked. That's right. All the military camps are in trouble at the same time, catching us off guard, Xianyuan Tianzun answered. I remember your soul reading technique was quite good, 100 Flowers Fairy said. I've tried to find a few suspicious people, but found that they were all innocent, Xianyuan Tianzun said with a serious expression. Monk, your Buddhist thaumaturgy can also read people's minds. Didn't you do anything? 100 Flowers Fairy asked. Ba, this old monk also paid attention to a few dozen people, but found nothing. The great monk of sorrow sighed, saying, "This old monk thinks if this goes on, the front line will be finished. That's why we need to go to the front line, to give everyone some peace of mind," Xin Yuan Tianzuan said. 100 Flowers Fairy thought for a bit, then said, "I guess that's the only way." Seeing that she agreed, the two of them were happy. Once the 100 Flowers Fairy made up her mind, she would not hesitate. She stood up from her throne and said, "Then let's set off immediately." The other two sages also nodded. Just as the three sages were about to move, they saw a beam of fiery light fly into the 100 Flowers Hall. It flew all the way to the 10,000 flower throne before floating there quietly. 100 Flowers Fairy's expression changed. She stretched out two slender, jade-like fingers and pinched the flame. She took the communication talisman and checked it with her spiritual sense. As she did, Baihua Fairy stood still and didn't move. After a long time, a thoughtful expression appeared on her face, and she slowly sat down on the 10,000 flower throne. "What is it?" Xin Yuan Tianzuan asked in a low voice. 100 Flowers Fairy didn't reply. She was still deep in thought. Xin Yuan Tianzuan and the great monk of sorrow exchanged looks, both surprised. 100 Flowers Fairy was one of the most powerful human cultivators in the world. Even when she heard that the front line was about to collapse, she didn't show such an expression. What exactly happened? Only to see 100 Flowers Fairy's bare feet stepping on the spirit jade petals, leaning on the 10,000 flower throne. Her expression was a bit surprised, a bit in disbelief. From her expression, she looked like a naive young girl who just heard some kind of strange story. "There's no need to hurry. Let's wait a bit longer," she said. "Wait? They're already in a desperate situation. If they don't show up now, humanity's front line might collapse at any moment. The decisive battle is also imminent. Originally, it was supposed to be tonight, but from the looks of it, it'll have to be postponed indefinitely." Xin Yuan Tianzuan and the great monk of sorrow exchanged looks, about to say something. But 100 Flowers Fairy reached out her hand and lightly pressed down. "Trust me, there's a reason why I'm waiting. The rest of you, don't leave either. Stay here and wait with me," she said. "Is it about the front line?" Xin Yuan Tianzuan asked. "Yes, is it about the traitor?" The great monk of sorrow asked. Yes, both of them were moved. 100 Flowers Fairy slowly spoke. "This news is very important to us, so we must wait." As she spoke, a smile suddenly appeared on her face. From her expression, she seems to be surprised and proud of something. Gu Qingshan found a secluded place, carefully put the two spirit beast bags away, then set up layers upon layers of formations around himself. Thinking for a bit, he took out a pill to eat, then sat cross-legged to meditate until the spirit energy in his dantian had fully recovered. There were a lot of demons around, but Gu Qingshan's hiding spot was quite good. All the concealment formations were carefully chosen by Qin Shaolu, so they've always been working well, so they managed to avoid the demon army search. He's been meditating, not worried about the demon army's search at all. From Foundation Establishment early stage to Foundation Establishment late stage, he broke through consecutively to reach Foundation Establishment late stage in one go. So he was feeling a bit uncomfortable from the sudden increase in spirit energy. But after going all out this time, his body actually felt a lot better. Gu Qingshan was very pleased with this unexpected gain. His body's reaction means that he's quickly adapting to his new realm. Gu Qingshan silently felt that Qin Shaolu's presence concealment technique is truly miraculous. In the battle, just now, I used all of my strength, but the corresponding spirit energy fluctuation is still at Foundation Establishment early stage. Even someone of Lung Tianxing's caliber was fooled. I have to say, even though Qin Shaolu's cultivation isn't that great, as long as it's not related to fighting, he still has a few tricks up his sleeve. Gu Qingshan checked his body's condition and found that it's already at its peak. He stretched out his fist and hammered it hard on his chest. This punch was filled with all of his strength, so it hurt his lungs. He spat out a mouthful of blood, staining his Shao Qi armor red. If someone saw this, they'd definitely call him a psychopath. The situation is already very dangerous, but he still wants to hurt himself, If he's not a psychopath, then what is? Gu Shan didn't care at all, wiped the blood, then used the presence concealment technique to make his spirit energy fluctuation even weaker. After that, Gu Shan took out a spirit beast bag. Lung Tianxing's spirit beast bag. He infused his hand with spirit energy and opened the spirit beast bag. A giant ice blue demon butterfly appeared in front of him. "Where's Lung Tianxing?" The demon butterfly spoke. "He went to finish a task. My wounds are very heavy. He left you to take care of me," Gu Shan answered. "Heavy wounds?" The giant demon butterfly released its inner sight and scanned Gu Shan. Sure enough, this young man's condition is very bad. His spirit energy fluctuation is like a candle in the wind, about to go out at any moment. "When will Lung Tianxing return?" the giant demon butterfly asked. 2 days, Gu Shan answered. The giant demon butterfly paused, then said, "Then you heal yourself. I'll watch over you." "That's great. Thank you." Saying so, Gu Shan couldn't help but spat out another mouthful of blood. Trembling, he took out a pill, tried to feed it a few times, but couldn't get it into his mouth. Finally, he managed to control his trembling arm, put it in his mouth, and swallowed the pill. Gu Shan closed his eyes to meditate. The giant demon butterfly stood guard on one side, silently watching him. Time slowly passed. Gu Shan's breathing gradually calmed down. His entire body fell into a silent state. This is a meditative state. Meditative state is a deep state of cultivation. The body is in a pre-celestial state, able to sense the law of heaven and earth, as well as stimulate the body's potential, a very good healing technique. The only downside is that in meditative state, you can't sense the outside world. At some unknown point, the inside of the formation suddenly became cold. 2 sharp frost blades gradually formed on the wings of the giant demonic butterfly. All of a sudden, it flapped its wings. The 2 frost blades glowed with a cold light, spinning towards Gu Shan. At this time, Gu Shan was still in a deep meditative state. The giant demon butterfly let out a happy chirp. It could already see the scene of him lying in a pool of blood. Its mission is finally complete. The frost blades cut through Gu Shan's body, but no blood came out. It was a blurred image. Not good. Before the giant demon butterfly could react, it felt a sharp pain all over its body. A sword had pierced through its back, coming out from its chest. Why is this happening? He was clearly sitting there. Why did he suddenly disappear? Why is it that he's clearly heavily wounded, unable to even stabilize his foundation establishment realm, but the spirit energy waves coming from his body aren't much different from mine? The giant demon butterfly was confused, but couldn't think any further, because this strike wasn't over yet, because the person on its back had already spoken. "So you were the one who revealed our whereabouts." A thunderous sound came from inside the formation. A few moments later, Gu Shan put his sword away with a thoughtful expression. He patted his storage pouch and threw away all the formation plates he had collected. Now that there's a better way to find out the truth, there's no need to waste time thinking about these dead things. He put away all the formations that he had set up and flew away. It wasn't until about half an hour later that Gu Shan stopped. He set up another formation in another small camp. After that, Gu Shan took out the remaining spirit beast bag. This was his own spirit beast bag. Infusing it with spirit energy, the spirit beast bag opened. Flame cloud, chasing sky, crane appeared in front of him. "Ah, where's your companion?" Flame cloud, chasing sky crane looked around and asked. "He has another mission." Gu Shan's voice was weak. His presence concealment technique was once again put to good use. "What's wrong?" Flame cloud, chasing sky crane felt something wasn't right, so he looked at Gu Shan and carefully observed, only to see that Gu Shan's breathing was weak, his body was covered in blood, his spirit energy waves were scattered and weak. "I'm a bit hurt. I'm afraid I can't run anymore," Gu Shan muttered. He took out a formation plate and quickly set up an alarm formation. A few breaths later, a wind spirit formation was successfully set up. "You know how to set up formations?" Flame cloud, chasing sky crane stared at him and asked. "That's right. I'm a formation grandmaster. I know a few dozen types of formations. Unfortunately, I'm heavily injured, so I can't set up anymore. Gu Qingshan sighed and regretfully answered. So you let me out because you want me to watch over you? Flame Cloud, chasing Sky Crane asked. That's right. I'll have to trouble you to watch over me. Gu Qingshan casually placed his sword in front of him and said. Chapter 216. You're bringing me back? Back to the camp? Gu Qingshan looked up, surprised. Flame Cloud, chasing Sky Crane, flapped its wings. That's right, I'll bring you back. Don't worry, I'm your spirit beast. I'll definitely bring you back, all right? Gu Qingshan thought for a bit, then nodded. He used his hand to push himself up, barely managed to climb onto the crane's back. Sit tight, Flame Cloud, chasing Sky Crane told him, flapped its wings, and took to the sky. Two flaming clouds appeared on its wings, leaving a long trail of red light in the air. Very beautiful. Flame Cloud, chasing Sky Crane, flew extremely fast. In just a few breaths, they've already passed countless mountains and rivers. At this speed, they'll reach the camp in about 15 minutes. Aren't we flying too high? Gu Qingshan looked down and asked. It's no problem. With my speed, no demon can catch up to us. Not to mention, the faster we get back, the faster you can get treated, Flame Cloud, chasing Sky Crane explained. All right, Gu Qingshan said. Then I'll have to trouble you to fly more steadily. Just sleep for a bit. We'll be there when you wake up, Flame Cloud, chasing Sky Crane replied, then slowed down a bit to fly more steadily. A few moments later, Flame Cloud, chasing Sky Crane, flew higher and higher, but Gu Qingshan had her eyes closed, as if she was taking a nap, oblivious to this. A few dozen breaths later, Flame Cloud, chasing Sky Crane had reached a height where Gu Qingshan's light barrier couldn't withstand the cold. Aren't we flying a bit too high? Gu Qingshan finally opened her eyes, looked around, and asked. Flame Cloud, chasing Sky Crane didn't answer and continued to fly higher. It's too high, it's so cold, Gu Qingshan shivered. It's fine if you're cold, Flame Cloud, chasing Sky Crane finally answered. You're going to die anyway. Saying so, it flipped its body, causing Gu Qingshan to tumble down. Human cultivators had to reach the golden core stage to be able to fly and drive flying boats. Gu Qingshan was only a foundation establishment initial stage cultivator. If she fell from such a high altitude, she would definitely die. What are you doing? Hurry up and catch me. Gu Qingshan yelled. High up in the sky, the howling wind wrapped around Gu Qingshan. His body turned into a black shadow, falling down rapidly. The flame cloud, chasing Sky Crane, chased after him all the way down, not leaving immediately. There was a sense of ridicule in its eyes, but its tone seemed to have changed into another existence. Humans, you are an extremely weak existence, yet you have such a wonderful taste. This was obviously not the voice of the flame cloud chasing Sky Crane, but the voice of a beautiful woman. Who are you? Gu Qingshan screamed in panic. My Shifu is a saint. If you dare to do this to me, she will pull out your tendons, peel off your skin, imprison and torture your soul. The flame cloud chasing Sky Crane's eyes showed a bit of fear, but it was quickly replaced by cruelty and pride. Tomorrow is the final battle. Not just you, even your Shifu won't be able to live for long. While it was talking without holding back, it suddenly noticed an intense spirit energy fluctuation coming from the void of space. This spirit energy fluctuation seems to have come from that brat, but at the same time, it wasn't. Because this was clearly the spirit energy of a foundation establishment late stage, only a bit weaker than a golden core early stage. And that brat is so heavily injured that he can't even hold his sword. Even if that brat was hiding his strength, the flame cloud chasing Sky Crane wasn't afraid. This was the sky, its home turf. Even flying spirit beasts of the same level couldn't catch up to it, let alone a human cultivator. Suddenly, the flame cloud chasing Sky Crane's vision blurred. All it could see was the blue sky and the ground, but the falling figure was nowhere to be seen. Not good. It spread its wings, wanting to speed up. An intense pain came, followed by a numbing and stinging sensation that filled its entire body. The flame cloud chasing sky crane couldn't stop twitching, unable to even flap its wings. It was in a spasming state, unable to control itself. Not even a single bit of beast essence could be squeezed out from its beast core. 1 second passed in the blink of an eye. A crescent white sword phantom illuminated the sky. This was a strike that contained all of Gu Qingshan's spirit energy. The crane's long neck was severed from its body. Then thousands of tiny strands of sword qi condensed into threads that exploded and twisted in the wind. In an instant, countless strands of sword qi minced the entire demonic bird into pieces. The flame cloud chasing sky crane's body turned into a thick mist of blood, dyeing the void of space a bright red, then was quickly blown away by the howling wind. The sky returned to its normal blue color. The battle just now was like a dream, as if it didn't happen at all. 1 short second, a golden core early stage spirit beast, just like that, dramatically disappeared from the world. At the same time, a notification popped up on the War God UI. You've perfectly executed 2 instant kills, and the targets you killed were all enemies with a higher realm than you. Please keep up the good work and complete 3 instant kills of a weaker opponent to unlock the relevant title. There's such a thing? Gu Qingshan looked at it in surprise. War God title is a very useful thing. Just now, when he killed the 2 spirit beasts, he used the title skill of Shaoqi Chaplain. Quick attack. When a sword cultivator explodes to kill, it's all about speed and the power of the strike. Gu Qingshan's sword is already fast, so the title skill that increases his attack speed by 10% on top of that is actually quite a terrifying thing. In both battles, neither the giant butterfly nor the flame cloud chasing sky crane managed to escape death in 1 hit. Gu Qingshan checked his soul points. After killing a Foundation Establishment Realm Giant Butterfly and a Golden Core early stage Flame Cloud chasing Sky Crane, combined with the soul points he got from killing the Burrowing Demon Python, he now has 300 soul points. Looking at the cooldown period for soul points to level up, he found that it's already more than half gone. The War God UI style is still the same, strongly encouraging the player to fight against stronger enemies. Now that there's something more important to deal with, Gu Qingshan silently noted this down. As Gu Qingshan put his sword away, he already had a conclusion. Since it's come to this, he made his decision without hesitation. Now he can start preparing for the final battle. He opened his hands and held them in front of his mouth, shouting, "Come and save me." His voice traveled very far in the strong wind. A few thousand feet away from him, a streak of flickering golden light suddenly emerged from a tranquil and pure white cloud. This golden light turned into a shadow and arrived in front of him in the blink of an eye. The golden light paused, revealing a delicate and pretty woman clad in golden armor. Heaven's Limit Sex Saintess, Humanity's Cultivation Alliance's UG General, Ning Yuechan. She caught Gu Qingshan, fell down with him for a bit before slowly lifting him up. "What happened just now? Why did you kill your mount without saying anything?" she frowned and asked. "I'll tell you later. I have something more urgent to do right now." Saying so, Gu Qingshan took out a communication talisman and explained everything in detail. Following his explanation, Ning Yuechan's eyes opened wider and wider, full of shock. After saying so, Gu Qingshan let the flaming light fly away. Everything is pretty much clear now. In the past life, humanity's biggest defeat was right in front of their eyes. Before it happened, no one could have predicted that. It wasn't until that decisive battle, when the demons and humanity were fighting one another, that the entire thing happened. The betrayal of the spirit beasts. If one were to look back carefully, this matter should have been planned by the demons before the game had even begun, when the entire cultivation world was still a peaceful place. It wasn't until the 7th year of the apocalypse, during a major battle, that the demons suddenly acted. At the time, all the spirit beasts suddenly turned against humanity. At first, the situation was exactly the same as the current situation in the human army camp. There were always problems with the camp's formations, but they couldn't find any traitors, causing the morale of the army to become unstable. Everyone was in danger, and the generals didn't know what to do. Then, on the battlefield, when the war reached its most crucial moment, the spirit beasts that were originally the allies of humanity against the demons suddenly turned around and attacked the cultivators from behind. Even now, Gu Qingshan can still feel his heart palpitating at the sight of that terrible scene. One of the three saints, Xianyuan Tianzuan, died in that battle. Even the players couldn't escape the betrayal of the spirit beasts. The spirit beasts that were recognized by the system as their mounts or summoned companions suddenly turned around and attacked the players. You can imagine how confused the players were at the time. That kind of situation, that kind of lack of preparation. After the war, corpses were everywhere. Humanity was forced to retreat 3,000 miles away, losing a lot of their strength. Originally, humanity still had a bit of an advantage against the demons, a bit of a chance to win. But from the start of that war, humanity fell into a situation where they were at death's door all the way until the apocalypse came. Gu Qingshan sighed. This time, now that I know the truth, I can't let the tragedy repeat itself. And this time, I have the chance to prepare ahead of time. Maybe I could do something more. It's better to do something big and vent my anger from the past life. Ning Yuechan picked up Gu Qingshan and tapped her inventory bag to release an airship. As they got on the airship, Ning Yuechan couldn't help but reach for her spirit beast bag, but was stopped by Gu Qingshan. It's not time yet, he said. Ning Yuechan looked at him and put her hand down. Is it true? It's true. Ning Yuechan took a deep breath and said, if it's true, then it's too dangerous. It's dangerous, but it's also a chance. Gu Qingshan smiled. It's too risky. If we don't pay attention, we'll lose everything, Ning Yuechan worriedly said. That's how war is. Small skirmishes won't solve the problem. We have to do something big, Gu Qingshan said. Ning Yuechan scoffed. A mere Shaoqi like you wants to talk about war with me? She proudly raised her chin and purposefully straightened her body so that Gu Qingshan could see the golden armor she was wearing. This exquisite golden armor was the symbol of a UG general. Gu Qingshan couldn't help but stare at it a bit longer. Your figure's quite nice, he said with a tone that implied he had to admit. Ning Yuechan blushed. Chapter 217. Noticing the tense atmosphere, Gu Qingshan quickly changed the topic and asked, what have you been busy with lately? Preparing to break through. Very good. As Gu Qingshan said so, he froze. He looked at Ning Yuechan as if there was something strange on her face. Aren't you Rejuvenation Realm Peak? He hesitantly asked. That's right, then. That's right. You're only in your early 20s. Ning Yuechan regained her composure and proudly raised her chin. Gu Qingshan felt like he was being hit by a storm. No wonder the very first Destiny quest that the War God UI gave was to save Ning Yuechan. What did the Destiny quest say at the time? Gu Qingshan quickly opened the completed quest and checked the description. Quest description. Gongsun Ji and Ning Yuechan are both fallen characters buried deep within history. If you can change their fate, you'll be able to change the course of history. Reading through, Gu Qingshan sighed. Ning Yuechan truly lived up to the War God UI's evaluation, already about to break through to Ascended Realm at such a young age. In the entire history of humanity, there were many talented people, but people like her couldn't even be counted on one hand. This kind of talent is truly the favored child of fate. As soon as she escapes the cage of life and death, she would turn from a cocoon into a butterfly and become a true legend. Perhaps she will be humanity's fourth saint in the future? Sure enough, this world's history is slowly being changed. Then, after a bit of thought, Gu Qingshan made up his mind. He tapped his inventory bag and took out a flower that gave off a faint fragrance. It's been a while. This flower is for you. Why would I want to give you a flower? I don't care, saying so. Ning Yuechan received the flower. This was a top-notch dragon's tear. It was extremely beneficial for nourishing the soul. Its fragrance was light and elegant, lingering for a long time. If one took it back and stuck it in a water bottle, they could live for several years. The flowers are naturally to curry favor with you. Gu Shan said with a straight face. You're a disciple of a saint. Do you still need to suck up to me? Ning Yuechan smiled. Gu Shan raised an eyebrow and said, What? Can't someone fawn over you? Do you want to suck up to me instead? Ning Yuechan looked at him from head to toe, just like how Gu Shan looked at him earlier. She smiled and shook her head. TSK, 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 Foundation Building Realm. This string of TSK directly cut off Gu Shan's momentum that had just surged up. Ning Yuechan was in a good mood, as she had successfully turned the tables. Forget it if you don't want it. Gu Shan reached out for the flowers. Who said I don't want it? Ning Yuechan hurriedly dodged his hand and hid the flowers behind her back. Fine, fine, fine. It's always going to be you, Gu Shan begrudgingly said. Ning Yushi ignored him, raised the dragon's tear cup up, wrinkled her nose, and sniffed it, a triumphant smile on her face. The airship picked up Gu Shan. A few moments later, the two of them landed in the wilderness. Flying for a long time will definitely draw the demon's attention, so it's safer to run on the ground. After they left, a dreamlike figure appeared from the void of space. This figure was transparent, thin as a cicada's wing, as if it was only the silhouette of someone. A slender figure, a face that could steal the soul of the city, flashed and disappeared. The camp, a soft whisper, as the figure flew away, became almost undetectable. At dusk, Gu Shan returned to the camp. He took out a communication talisman and left. A few moments later, Lung Tianxing also arrived. Lung Tianxing looked at Ning Yuechan in surprise, then at Gu Shan, as if he understood something. But Lung Tianxing's expression didn't change at all, only casually greeted Ning Yuechan. This Lung Tianxing is a sly one, but he knows his limits. How's the quest? Gu Shan asked. It's done. We need to turn in the quest now. Otherwise we'll be scolded, Lung Tianxing answered. The three of them entered the camp together, heading towards the camp's tent. Baihua Palace. A flame talisman flew in, landing in 100 Flowers Fairy's hand. 100 Flowers Fairy received it, scanned it with her inner sight, then laughed. Interesting, very interesting. Her face was full of curiosity and excitement when she saw something new. Xianyuan Tianzuan and the Great Monk of Sorrow both stood up, looking at her with a serious expression. Fairy, tomorrow is the decisive battle. What could possibly make you so relaxed? Xianyuan Tianzuan's tone was a bit strict. He's never talked to her like this before, so this time he was a bit angry. The two strongest people in the world, sitting there for over an hour, only to be told that it was very interesting. Even the Great Monk of Sorrow's expression didn't look too good. 100 Flowers Fairy looked at them, then understood. Very well. Tomorrow is the decisive battle. I'll tell you the information I just received, she smiled and said. We're all ears. The two saints spoke at the same time. A few moments later, the three saints all had different expressions on their faces. The Great Monk of Sorrow clasped his hands together and chanted, Sadhu, Sadhu. It's a good thing we already knew about this. Otherwise we would have been in big trouble, Xianyuan Tianzuan asked. But is this information accurate? This kind of thing can't be wrong, 100 Flowers Fairy replied. My disciple has never lied to anyone, not to mention this kind of important information. Then we'll head to the front line right away to eliminate the threat, Xianyuan Tianzuan said. Wait, 100 Flowers Fairy smiled. Don't be hasty, Tianzuan. My disciple has a suggestion for this. I think it's a secret military strategy. We could try it out. She had a warm smile on her face. Her tone was slow and polite. Obviously, she was in a good mood. Secret military strategy, this. Xianyuan Tianzuan muttered in a low voice. Being able to find this much information is already quite good, but how can something like military strategy be made up so easily? But following 100 Flowers Fairy's explanation, Xianyuan Tianzuan's eyes opened wide. His mouth opened wide and didn't close for a long while. Half an hour later, the three saints finished their discussion and flew out of Baihua Palace on a cloud. The camp. Lung Tianxing and Gu Shan handed in their mission, but were asked to stay by Ding Yuan, General Wu Xingwen. Wu Xingwen cleared his throat and asked, Gu Shan, When you came to the camp before, did you kill someone called Li Chu-chun? Isn't this guy annoying? Why is he still bothering about this? Gu Qing-shan glanced at him. It's not like you don't know. Why did you kill him? Wu Xingwen asked. He disobeyed orders and ran away. Gu Qing-shan answered. Wu Xingwen looked at him and suddenly smiled. His smile was very proud of himself. That doesn't seem right. Someone else seems to have a different story. Saying so, he waved his hand. A few people came in from outside the camp. They were spirit beast sex people. Murderer! Li Chu-chen's brother shouted. Gu Qing-shan squinted her eyes. Spirit beast sex elder stopped the excited disciples, stepped forward and bowed to Wu Xingwen. He spoke. General, we found evidence that proves that Gu Qing-shan was secretly taking revenge, recklessly killing her comrades. Very well. Show me the evidence. This general will definitely uphold justice. Wu Xingwen leaned back on a chair and spoke kindly. Spirit Beast Sex Elder took out 5 Spirit Beast bags and placed them on the ground. These are the Spirit Beast bags that Li Chu-chun left behind. Taken from the dead cultivator's belongings, he said. I was the one who put them there, Gu Qing-shan answered. That's why the heavens have their own way of dealing with retribution. Li Chu-chen's brother gritted his teeth. Spirit Beast Sex Elder glared at Gu Qing-shan, then opened the 5 Spirit Beast bags one by one. 5 different Spirit Beasts immediately jumped out. They were telling a completely different story to all the cultivators here. In their narration, Gu Qing-shan was always looking for trouble with Li Chu-chun, but Li Chu-chun didn't know how to curry favor with him, instead messing up Gu Qing-shan's plans and offending Gu Qing-shan. At the end, Ding Yuan General Wu Xingwen cut them off and said, So, what you're saying is that Gu Qing-shan purposely took revenge on Li Chu-chun. The 5 spirit beasts all nodded. Wu Xingwen waved his hand and said, Bring by Hai Dong and the other 5 female cultivators as soon as they arrived. Wu Xingwen immediately ordered Questioning Heart. The result of Questioning Heart was also very clear, exactly the same as what Gu Qing-shan said before. Wu Xingwen looked at everyone, then at the 5 spirit beasts, a bit troubled. The cultivators all passed the Questioning Heart test. As spirit beasts, their soul vessel is different from humans, so they can't be Questioning Heart. At this time, among the spirit beasts, the blue-eyed slanted tiger spoke in human language. You're all humans, so your perspective is different from us spirit beasts. We can see Li Chu-chun being bullied and wronged, but you can't see it at all, so your Questioning Heart test isn't wrong, but you don't know what kind of person Gu Qing-shan is. The conclusion is that Gu Qing-shan has always wanted to harm Li Chu-chun, so she finally found a chance to do so. But on the surface, she said that he didn't follow orders, it said. Bullshit. Bullshit. That's not it at all, by Hai Dong and the other female cultivators loudly refuted. At this point, Spirit Beast Sex Elder stood up and said, How about we use Soul Search? As soon as he said that, everyone went silent. Soul Search is a relatively difficult technique to use. It comes with a certain amount of risk. If the cultivator using Soul Search isn't careful, it's very easy to cause permanent damage to the target's soul vessel. I agree. That way, the truth will be revealed. Wu Xingwen slammed the table. The fact that a Bai Hua sect disciple had her soul search has a very deep meaning behind it. Even if Gu Qing-shan's innocence is proven later on, she'll still be suspected of harming her colleague, so she's already had her soul searched. Once a person's soul is searched, they'll immediately be labeled as a suspect. No matter what happens from now on, Gu Qing-shan's reputation will be tarnished. People will look at her with suspicion. From now on, Bai Hua sect disciples won't be able to raise their heads anymore, not to mention being on par with Blue Cloud sect. Gu Qing-shan didn't even look at Spirit Beast Sex Elder, only looked straight at Wu Xingwen and smirked. Soul Search? You really can think of something like that. I know how to use Soul Search. Let me do it. Spirit Beast Sex Elder rolled up his sleeves and was about to step forward. Ning Yuechan stood up and stopped him. Saintess, what do you mean by this? Even the great general agreed. Spirit Beast Sex Elder was surprised. You can't use Soul Search, Ning Yuechan spoke. Don't you think you're going too far by not letting him go? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.